Hello, everyone. Welcome out to episode 71 of Sunforged. How are we doing? We got a few people missing right now. Sam is just finding clothes.
Joseph, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm good, man. I'm really good, man. Thanks for asking.
Thanks
for asking, man. I appreciate that. But you have you? How are you doing tomorrow?
Oh, enough about me, man. Like,
okay.
How are you doing?
Mm-hmm. I'm glad to see your pals back on. That's frustrating.
Yeah, it went down
for now.
And, like, I watched an electrical guy like come out front, like, because it was the whole neighborhood, and they like looked at all the wires, and I watched them shrug and call somebody, and just drive away, and I was like, "We're fucked." Like, that's the worst thing you want to see is them inspect everything and then just kind of
just don't
like,
know.
I don't know.
Well, it's out of my hands.
But then it turned on like 2 hours before the ETA like to return was. So I guess maybe someone like just like hit a switch by accident at the power company and turned.
Oh, they sat on the button, huh?
That's why he left so quick. He got a call. The guy was like, "Dude, get out of there."
I don't know. There was a point when it was so bad. When like they were doing that, I was like, "Am I crazy?" I checked my breaker and everything was good. What if I didn't? And this guy drove all the way out here, and there was this little switch that I was supposed to switch.
Yeah, man.
I got embarrassed for a minute.
Well,
I've done that before to my father-in-law. If that makes you feel better, I've asked him to come all the way out to our house.
And it was just down on the breaker.
Well, this was before we all were living on the same piece of property, but I was trying to get a power washer to work that I had borrowed so that I could clean up the backyard, and I could not get that shit to turn on. For anybody who has only ever been in America, in a lot of countries, they have switches next to their outlets that go directly into the wall.
Oh.
So
you guys don't have that in America?
No.
Oh.
So,
we kind of go crazy with it out here, man.
Yeah.
All the power's just always on here.
Yeah, we freeball constantly. So I forgot to turn on the switch at the wall, and so I had just been sitting there like, it doesn't work. And then my father-in-law had to come over and literally just flip a switch.
That's
and was
funny.
Like, there you go. And I felt very bad.
Oh boy.
That's wild though. I didn't know that. Apparently other countries don't have that either. Oh, they have the same thing as you guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of sometimes I wish I did have switches on my outlets, because sometimes you'll get like a liquid like just close enough to an outlet, and you'd be like, I don't like that. I'm not a big fan of that, knowing that that's just on.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's nice. It is nice.
Well, Sam is here. He's just finding clothing because it's very hot in the UK. So I imagine he's probably.
I don't know how it's taken. I'm gonna be real. I don't know how it's taken.
Yeah, he's
get this one.
He's probably stopped to grow a pot noodle. He's probably got distracted by Peach. He's easily distracted.
I heard his door shut. He's coming.
He's about to be on.
His door just shut. He's found a shirt, maybe a webcam cable if we're super lucky.
He'll be here shortly, but we do have Shayne is here just off cam. We are missing OLG. She's not available to make today, and Bree had a nasty migraine, so we will be those two down. But we're gonna press on ahead as we're kind of right on the beginnings of the Songrest arc. So let's kick into things. Hello, Sam Strippin.
He's in the fucking void.
Hey man,
he's
what's
in the
up?
fucking abyss, dude.
Wait, why am I in the abyss? What the fuck?
The four
is it?
kings are gonna come up any
Where
fucking
am I?
second. That's crazy.
That's very cool though, man. It's good. This is you should just keep that on. I like it because occasionally your neon light just flashes the view.
Seats. Just one more
Well, for those who missed the previous episode, the one shot, it was technically in canon, adjacent story to what you were all experiencing in Sunforged. So recap wise, I didn't post the recap yet, have I? Let me post the recap in for you guys. Who would like to read the recap?
Can.
I like that idea.
Rumor has it that last we left off, we had just fulfilled the trials of Oromoto and restored Vanderval to his former.
Can we approach this with a bit more energy, baby?
No.
Whoa.
Do you remember my character? It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Shit.
cut you off to tell you to do it more energy. How about you show us how it's done,
Crazy.
Sam?
Yeah,
that's a
you know
good
what?
point.
I'd rather
Yes.
that Morgane
And in
did
fact, it
this,
actually fits that Morgane says it because you know how it ended. So let's hear it,
I
Morgane.
gotta take a call real quick.
With big energy, man.
Dude, there's no shot. He just did that.
Unreal. Sorry, where was I?
I liked the energy dodger. You can continue at that
thank
level.
you.
His tack.
Thank you.
Yep.
And restored Vanderval to his former genie self. With just one town between us and Songrest. Oh, Sam's back. Sam, would you like to do the
Short
rest?
call.
Really
I can't
short phone
multitask.
call.
I gotta deal with this. It's
You got
pretty bad.
devastating news.
It's really bad.
But it's solvable in
Crazy.
text apparently, so that you're
Yeah,
doing it.
it's,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes it's just easier to have it written
Not-
down, you know.
I'm solving it right now. It's just I can't.
Someone called you for 12 seconds.
All right.
Hear that noise?
Yeah, that was great. They said, check your text.
Check your email.
Yeah.
It was my lawyer, Joe. You'll be hearing from him soon.
Okay, yeah.
Wait, which one of us are you talking to?
Whichever one of you feels threatened by this. Let's go on.
What the
Let's move
fuck?
on.
With just one town between us and Songrest, we would be arriving soon to confront the long-awaited Kios and those he harbors. In Morgane's dreams, she saw an event unfold after the False Mountain and the Harvest Lands. She wakes with thoughts recent in her mind.
So your
Is that okay, Sam?
Yeah, is that good, Sam?
Yeah, any input?
That's good.
I
That's
love
really good.
critique, so
No notes. No notes.
great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Well, we start with Morgane. As Morgane, you've just woken up, haven't seen the entirety of the one shot through a dream, but it was so visceral, it was so real. You know it to be true. You heard the voice of the leader of your order. You heard the voice of justice as you woke. You waking in your tent. It's the day after Vanderval has been saved. You are on the road heading towards Songrest, just outside the portions of the map which are one path and the kind of mountainous regions nearby. But Morgane, you wake as all of the as kind of all of the your moving town wakes as well.
Okay.
Where is
Yeah.
everyone in the
Should-
morning? Just so you can have a little bit of context.
Did you say we're like outside of Silverleaf? Like that
No,
sort
you
of
guys are
area?
well past Silverleaf. You're closer to one path. You're like probably about
Okay.
By the end of this day, you'll be at one path.
Carlisle's an early riser. He's probably helping make breakfast at the because I know his caravan's pretty close to the like central campfire area.
Tack normally is not an early riser, but I think the closer we get to Songrest, they are spending more kind of anxious energy.
Yeah.
Not necessarily doing anything specific, but just awake and moving around and
Morgane, when you wake with this information, where do you go?
I think Morgane would just go about the morning as usual, but be uncharacteristically quiet.
Okay.
She's normally pretty quiet, but more so than usual.
Okay.
Yeah.
You.
Oops.
What's wrong? I mean, Desmond. Where was Desmond
was-
in the
I
morning?
was like, what is
I'm
Desmond
intimidated.
doing?
Yeah, I thought you were just being quiet. It's okay.
Who are you
You're muted.
I was
Intimidating,
extending my character sheet and I accidentally clicked intimidation. I'm not intimidating our
roll,
people.
though.
Oh,
Don't worry.
okay.
Chill, man.
Desmond has
I feel
spent all night
intimidated.
in his tent working on something. I'm trying to remember the crafting rules we made.
I can try and find them. Hold on. Is there anything you're specific trying to make?
Yes, it was an uncommon magical item. I don't remember the time and everything we dictated to that. How many
Our
days it takes
rule
if-
goes down to instead of it being kind of something that you do over the course of days, it's more of a roll that you kind of push forward, and we can just do it occasionally. So because you haven't done anything for this level already, and unless you're just using your artificer abilities, you can. I think we gave you like extra. I believe it's
especially because I cut it down by a quarter of the normal time too.
Yes, we were giving you something, a little boost extra. So I think you get a few extra points. But I believe it's a D100 roll for you, with a chance of the item upgrading to
that's
rare
right.
and very rare.
So I want to start every long rest just working on cloaks of protection.
Got it. That makes sense. Okay. So if you give me a D100 roll, I'll give you the ratings before you do it. On a, you reduce the cursed chance, so it's only going to be a curse on a 1 to 3. On a 4 up until 50, it will be uncommon. 51 to 80 will be rare. 81 to 99 is very rare, and one chance if you get 100 will be a legendary.
Good lord.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Come on. Big hundo. Is 75.
Which comes out as rare. If I'm going to do this quickly now. I'd usually, if we aim this at like the end of sessions, I can go off and make it cooler. But because it's a cloak of protection, it's pretty standard. I'm going to say it gives a, if it's going to be rare, a +2 to armor class and saving throws. Very simple, sweet.
That's
strong.
good, though.
All right. I'll keep this and divvy it out.
Okay.
I think I'll save it for when everybody's here to see who really needs it the most. I'll just say I'm still working on it for now.
I'm going to rework those crafting rules with you as well between sessions so we can get it cleaned out. So you actually have a chart and system ready for you just to roll yourself. All right, nice. Yeah, so you get a rare version of it. You kind of see the flaws that the original was designed around. You see where it could be made stronger. You can see the lining of the runic kind of thread and how it's used to kind of strengthen the material when it's struck, like almost like blocking it. The kind of molecules harden, and you find ways to kind of weave magic and change the runes up just enough to make it stronger. It's going to reinforce it a bit more reliable than the original version. So you get yourself a Desmond's Cloak of Protection.
Again, that's it for me.
Are we traveling on the road, Joe?
Yes, you'd be on the road.
Okay. And do we know where we're going, or is it? Do we have like people in the camp that are like well versed in traveling the road?
It's a bit of both. Tack comes from Songrest, and it is at the end of the long road. The long road is an uninterrupted giant path that goes all the way northward to the southern regions of the land. So by just staying on the long road, a thick, long kind of cobbled path that's really well maintained, you will eventually arrive at your destination. The idea of it is to create a great trade road, almost like the Silk Road, but physical. And so you are following that, but also there are definitely people who are in your camp who have probably traveled this far, especially obviously.
What was the name of the mines that we were in?
The False Mountain. The False Mountain or the Mountain of Forgery. Okay. You'll find it in the bottom left.
Morgane would look for attack.
Yeah, attack's probably just kind of on the outskirts of town, just kind of standing, arms crossed, tapping their foot, not really looking at anything, you know.
Tack, you know these lands.
Yes.
How far are we from the False Mountain?
How far are we from the False Mountain?
Give me I'm going to give you, this is almost like a geography check. So I'm going to say this is done through intelligence.
Okay.
I'll give you different options. Intelligence is going to give you like precisely, the kind of mileage and how far away it is and the kind of map knowledge. If you have cartographer's tools, you can roll it via that. Wisdom will give you kind of whatever, like almost like general knowledge, kind of almost like, oh, there are the rough areas and whatnot. And charisma would probably give you probably less so the location and more so context clues that people have discussed around you and when it's been mentioned.
Okay.
So it's up to you. Intelligence will be the most precise, but
I rolled a 27 with charisma.
27 with charisma. You've definitely heard of it. It's kind of seen as a capital for dwarves. They've almost migrated from other lands or even kind of regions to go and build up. So you would have heard the rumors of this false mountain, this mountain of forgery. Stories have kind of come up, maybe children's stories or kind of just general like invitations that have been sent out for dwarves to kind of come and find their home in the mountain in the harvest lands. So you would know at the very least the harvest lands is in the south, the deep south of High Loma, well away from where you are, pretty much the opposite to the other side of the continent to your home. So you know it's in the kind of sunny portions of the harvest lands, just not precisely where.
Okay. Yeah, Tack would scrunch up their brow. Not anywhere near here. I don't know exactly where it is, but in the harvest land somewhere. South.
I
Why?
see. Nothing, it's fine. Thank you.
Of course. Do I notice, like, Morgane, what's your disposition like?
Good question.
Well, I would say it's oftentimes quite hard to read Morgain because you can't see the upper half of.
Because you have a
his
mask
face.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But-
fair.
There's like a pause for thought and then just kind of dismisses it, which would probably come off weird to you.
A curiosity, yeah.
Yeah.
Tack, yeah, I think if you started to walk away, Tack would make as though to call you back, but not really know what to say and would just let you leave.
Do we have someone that can run messages in the camp?
Yeah, potentially.
We have the weird secret. We have the secret boys. The secret boys do
That's
messages.
true.
don't they?
Yeah,
Little secret
yeah.
boys.
You do have Gast and Holtz. They could send a message.
I meant like a letter. Like, I guess they could contact someone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Send
they'll send a
letters
letter.
for
They're
us.
Yeah.
the guys who send
Yeah.
our letters.
Okay, yeah, Morgain will
They're the
go and see
secret
them.
boys. Widows.
Okay, yeah, you go up to who do you want to go to? Gast is the kind of almost eldritchy, like Guillermo del Toro kind of looking creature, very skinny, gangly man. And then Holtz is the goblin who's a brother with Otab, who's on your list. Which one would you prefer to go to?
Probably the one that's not on my list, given what I'm gonna do.
Okay. Yeah. You go up to Gast. And you see the kind of gangly creature stood there watching over the mercenaries as kind of put there as a position by V. He folds his long hands behind his back and kind of like peers ahead towards you and then looks on. Yes?
I need a message sent to the Dreadvault.
Very well. In what form? Letter or animal? Magic?
Whatever's fastest.
Understood. The contents?
The Grey is in the False Mountain. Sir Morgain.
I do not mean to overstep. So I shan't. And like kind of knows this place for a second. You can see there's a general like. It will an insight check.
Okay.
More so for voice than for sight.
Nice save, man.
15.
There was a slight gasp. There's almost this kind of moment where you realize that Gasp recognizes what you are referring to and realizes the kind of how bad that is as news to hear. So there's a moment where he almost wants to question it, but then realizes I'm not going to question a Dreadvault warden. So immediately kind of wanders over to one side, doesn't waste a beat, and to ready your message to send it off to the Dreadvault.
Morgain will like get the feeling of this and kind of place her hand on his shoulder, and she'll say, "The faster it's sent, the more we can save."
I understand. And he rushes straight off. Like, you don't usually, this is someone who usually glides when they walk. This is someone, now he looks almost strange when he runs for anyone else who sees him in the camp. He kind of almost kind of moves as if his legs aren't built for bending. kind of bouncing between the two legs towards his tent quickly to send the message. You send that off. In this day, as it's the day after saving Vanderval, Vanderval would kind of gather all of you. Now in his genie form, you can see him kind of washed up with his hair kind of flowing, looking almost like mist and air that forms and comes and goes. His legs no longer there, just kind of drifting. You can see there's people that are walking past, some scared, some wondered by him. He gloats in the glamour of everything, treating himself like a celebrity in the camp. But you can start to see already an element of waning coming to Vanderbilt, where people keep coming up asking for wishes, and he realizes again now why he likes to avoid that. Keep explaining it to the same people why he can't do that. But he would call you all over, like send out someone to kind of get you. He sends out Jalixir, who kind of comes over to each of you and goes like, Mr. Vanthor wants to see all of you if you can go and see him, as he's kind of bouncing around, rushing. But he waits in his shop for your group to arrive. If you do want to go in.
Jump at something to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carile will go.
Let me know if anyone doesn't go along. But essentially, you walk into his shop, and he's changed up the format. It's smaller inside, and in front of him, he has these 3 pedestals. They kind of glow with almost like a semicircle of an orb on all 3 of them. And next to each of them is kind of like a jack-in-the-box, almost like winding tool, a lever. And as you kind of go inside, you see Richard is in like a showman's outfit with like a top hat to one side. Vanderbilt looks across you and goes, "My friend, I've managed to get you something that I think you're going to enjoy. Welcome to the pedestals of perchance." A working title. These are my new way of selling magical items. Now, I'd usually charge people for pulling on the levers. A bit of a chance roll, if you will. I'm not going to charge you that. And I've also taken into account that all of these items shall be at their normal price, 30% discounted for you as a group.
Oh.
However, there is a slight little change in this. When you pull upon each of my pedestals, you have a chance of any item coming up. Now, I've also rigged them so that for you lot, you won't ever find any common items. But anything from uncommon up to legendary, the rarest of the rare, the most powerful items out there. The first thing you'll roll is on the top orb, and he points to it. This will show what item is on display. Beneath it, you're going to see whether it is pricier than usual, at its normal price with your 30% discount. If it's going for cheap, dirt cheap, and if you're really lucky, you get it free. You will give the chance to roll each of these, pull on each of my levers of my pedestals of perchance, and because it's you lot, I'll give you 1 free go again of any of the rolls, whether it be the discount or the top. Now, once the item is there and the discount's in place, you can lock it in. You lock in the item. So then the next week, when you come back again, you can try again with the discount. See if you can try and get it for free. If you lock it in, though, that one is locked. That pedestal will be there for the next week, and the other 2 will change up. You follow?
Yeah, that will make sense.
I believe so.
Yes, so welcome to the first 3, my first go. Let's see if you've got it in place. So above board, the pedestals of perchance, you have 3 chances to do D100 rolls. The D100 rolls will show you each of the items. we'll do one of the pedestals at a time. The first roll you make is a D100 to determine the actual item itself. Depending on the numbers, you get a different type of item. On a 1, you just get a free piece of candy. But 2 to 29, it will be an uncommon item. 30 to 69 is a rare. 70 to 89 is very rare. 90 to 99 is legendary. And 100 is a quality of your choice. You get to choose any of the qualities above. But it also comes with 5 rolls on the discount table instead of 1. So you have a higher chance of getting a better discount. When you do your discount roll, it'll be a D100. If you roll a 1, the item is both pricey and comes with a curse. 2 to 19, it's pricier, which is technically just removes your 30% discount. 20 to 49 has your 30% discount on the number. 50 to 79 is half off. 80 to 99 is dirt cheap, which is 75% off, I believe, or 70% off. And then 100, you get it for free. You get to re-roll one of the 6 dice. So rather for one of the items or for one of the discounts. And then, you can lock in the item. If you're like, man, we got a really good item, but we can't afford it yet, or we didn't get a good discount roll, you can lock the item, so the next time you come back to it, you can try again on the discount roll, if you'd prefer.
So in universe, we get a weekly roll. Is that correct?
Essentially, yeah. The week is going to be kind of subject to gameplay in terms of if I send you on a 6-month break, we're probably not going to do 500 rolls to fix it, but we'll try and make it frequent enough that'll be fun. Just to avoid the game break element.
This guy running.
We'll make it make more sense in roll when it comes to like long journey things. I'll make you have you can get like 10, and we'll make it fun that way. But essentially, this is your kind of way of randomly running across magical items here. So if you'd like to roll the first pedestal, it'll be a D100 roll to determine what item pops up. Also, I will say all of the prices of the items are the suggested prices of uncommon, rare, very rare, legendary for the base value. So we'll see how we do on that.
Who's rolling?
Who'd like to do the first D100?
I think in character attack would say we should let Desmond do it.
Please.
Right. Desmond, come
Out of
along
character,
here.
This guy is cursed as fuck. We shouldn't let him roll.
He rolls so beans all the time. I'm just gonna.
He is
so
fucking
real.
beans. In character.
Beans,
All right,
beans,
he can roll.
beans.
I'm running up, pulling the lever.
Okay, yep. Roll a D100. You see the first one. As you're gonna pull it, it plays like the little song that you hear now, but like in a faster version. 79 is
79,
a very rare item, and you see it become purple on the top, and you would see anti-magic half-plate armor comes up.
Oh my god.
For you,
Wow.
if you don't know what this is, I will read what it does. Let me find the item. It is anti-magic half-plate is half-plate as is for AC. But you can use your reaction to give yourself advantage on a saving throw you make against the spell once per dawn. In addition, while you wear the armor, you can use it to cast Antiagic Field, requiring no spell components. Once this property is used, it can't be used again until the next dawn. I can tell you the prices of very rare items. The pricier, which is the normal standard price, is 40,000 gold. Normal, with your discount, is 28,000. Half off is 20,000, and dirt cheap is 10,000. Yeah, 75% off. And then obviously free is free. So, who would like to roll to see which
I think we should have
discount?
one person do all the rolls each week.
Yeah, go on, Desmond.
Yeah. And I pull the second lever. I'm already up here.
Yep,
He's
you
a
put
baby.
it in.
Let him gamble.
See the kind of twisting words underneath it are kind of like it's like a bunch of cubes that are like moving into place to see what word comes up.
Come on, don't blow it. 8.
You see the 40,000 gold pricey comes up and he goes, "Oh, I hate to see it. I do appreciate you guys saving my life."
But he said we could get one reroll.
You get one
though,
reroll of any of the
correct?
6 rolls this week. Yeah. Oh, going whenever you do this.
Should I use it for this one? What if I get the 100? You
You
know?
can come back to it.
Is
Yeah, you can come back to it. Goes,
I could think on it.
Ooh, 40,000
depends on-
expensive.
Depends on who would want to use that.
There's only a couple people that can even wear it, and Sam's armor is crazy now, right? So he's
I'm
not-
full plate to half plate is like a 4 AC difference. It's,
yeah,
I would
so
never
it's
wear
really
this.
only Desmond that can wear.
or Desmond or V.
No,
And
V
we
wouldn't want to anymore.
can't
V
afford it
is wants to
unless we
stop using
crush
armor
roll.
at this point.
I don't know if she does though, because she's still using it.
Here's the thing, though. I'm just gonna say it. Anti-magic field is cool and all. Never seen it used in a way that didn't deeply inconvenience everyone in the fucking room.
I mean,
including
I would
the
use the
person
shove
using
it, but the AC is just awful. I mean, maybe Desmond could do something with it.
Should we just re-roll everything then?
Well, we
Can
have
we
another-
reroll everything?
You can only reroll one of the things, so it'd rather be the item,
Yeah, so we
quality
can
item,
do
or
item,
the
but it would
discount.
still be
So
insanely
they're both
pricey.
bad for us then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we might
Okay.
just
Yeah,
roll the
this-
last one, see what happens.
Well, you got 2 more pedestals. So that was 1 pedestal
Yeah, we
done.
got 2 more pedestals.
Oh, we get 3. Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck it. Leave that
Anyone
one.
want to step up? It's
This one
fun.
just sits here and rots for now because I hate it.
A kick over the pedestal. I'm
I
kidding.
don't have the money for
this,
this.
this is trash.
Garbage.
I love that item, but let's see what you do. Maybe your luck's better on the second one. Let's see. You doing it again, Desmond?
There's no one stepping up.
No,
Let
just
the
let
baby
Desmond hit them
gamble.
all. Dude. It's so.
Yeah.
Let the baby
Yes,
gamble.
yes, yes.
Go on,
then
then.
you roll, then you roll. Like, Jane, just hit them all.
I love
Number
the
2.
idea of this cool ass looking robot man going, yes.
Yes, come on, come on, come on. 76.
Damn.
Okay.
Another very rare item. You see it start appearing, and you would see the second very rare item is the Mind Guard crown. You see this kind of silver platinum looking crown appear. It's a very rare item that requires attunement. While you wear this, it's adamantine crown. You have an advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws, and resistance to psychic damage. Just a solid
Ooh.
item.
That's
Okay.
a strong one.
All right, let's see how you do on
is
that
the price
discount.
strong, huh? 99.
99.
Damn.
Oh, so close to the 100. It comes up at the bottom. Dirt cheap, 10,000 gold.
Damn, damn, damn.
We should see what the third thing is, but that is
Yeah,
worth buying.
Reaching towards that.
Because
That's
someone
Strong
will
item.
always have a use for that.
It
in
feels
the
like that's
party.
insanely good for tech specifically.
For sure. That's so good.
All right.
All right, I'm going up to the last machine.
Number 3. Let's see what you got.
Okay, 84. Killing it on
84.
the rolls.
You guys
is-
clowned on this man, but
Yeah,
he's
but that's
rolling
because
great.
in clowning on him, it guaranteed that he would.
They
roll.
powered me up, you know?
I've uplifted him.
I don't think that's how dice work.
No,
You
that is literally how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works.
you would see as a sword appears and it flicks through all of the different types of swords. So this could be a scimitar, a rapier, any sword that you choose when you buy the item. This is a Polymorph Blade. When you attack a creature with this magic item and roll a 20 on the attack roll, the creature must make a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw in addition to suffering the attack's normal effects. On a failure, they suffer the effects of Polymorph, which you then roll a d20 and there's a table of different animals they can become, and they transform into that. A creature is immune to this effect if it's immune to the damage types, is a shape changer, or has legendary actions. I'm actually going to take away the legendary actions thing. I'm going to keep that. I'm just going to say just a shape changer gets immune to it. And you'd see this version of it is without a curse. You can see it like it comes up with the words curse free and it like fades away.
Accidentally turns a bandit into like a dinosaur.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
That'd be
So
great.
you can make it. I'm guessing if you can.
You
choose
could
the
make
weapon,
this
you can
into a
make it finesse.
rapier, which would be a
Yeah.
finesse weapon.
But it's
for
not a
Carlisle.
plus anything weapon.
It's
It's,
not a
just
plus
a
anything.
flat, and that makes it relatively unappealing.
Yeah.
That's true. The half plate
find
isn't
out
a
how
plus
much it
either,
would
right?
be.
It was just regular half plate.
That regular half plate, yeah.
Regular half-
Yo, what if it's free?
What if it's free though?
if it's
Like
free.
this? 29.
Oh.
That thing is expensive.
29 gives you the normal price. You'd see it comes up with 28,000 gold. And it
Yeah,
comes up
no
like the
way.
word 30% discount kind of fades on the thing. Haha,
It's-
that's for you.
Because I was looking at the polymorph options on this blade, and it's like, dude, they can just turn into a T-Rex still, or a gray.
Yeah, this thing. I will say this.
Not that convenient.
I will say this though. Polymorph, the difference that I play off of, and the way it kind of I think it's intended. If they turn into a T-Rex, they become the mind of the T-Rex. Like you lose your. Because it's not like a druid, so they would just eat anything around them, so they would even attack allies.
Yeah, it's just too bad that you're the thing that just stabbed them.
Yeah, if you can get away from them, that's pretty good.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
When you normally polymorph something, you're far away from the thing.
I think maybe we re-roll that last roll one more time to see if we get a freebie blade, and if not, we go for we just buy the crown. I don't see another use for the re-roll, really.
I mean, what about the item itself? Because I'm not really keen
you
on
can
it.
re-roll the
Of
item.
the mind that we could re-roll.
You could re-roll the item, but you're still going to pay overpriced for it.
This is technically it is discounted 30%.
The last one is a 30%
okay.
discount.
Yeah, roll the item then. Fuck it, roll the item.
The worst you can get is the standard suggested price of every item.
Yeah. Okay.
So re-rolling the
That's what
item.
we're going for.
Okay.
55 on it, whatever that is.
So 55 is a rare item. It's a fun one. You would see as a cube appears, and it comes up with the words "Cube of Force." The Cube of Force, in its rare quality, is about an inch across. It's only a small orb. Each face has a distinct marking on it. You can press one of those faces, expend the number of charges required for it, and thereby cast the spell associated with it. There's a table. The cube starts with 10 charges and regains 1d6 every dawn. So 1 charge for Mage Armor and Shield, 3 charges for Lehman's Tiny Hut, 4 for Mordenkainen's Private Sanctum, 4 for Otterluke's Resilient Sphere, and 5 for Wall of Force. It's all Cube of Force.
That's not bad.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's a helpful just thing to technically have.
Yeah.
But it's 28,000 gold on that one.
Well, would that one
sorry.
Different
Yeah, it's because it's rare, it's 2,800.
That also
pretty
feels
cheap.
Does it use attunement though?
No.
It does. It does.
Oh, it does. Sorry, yeah.
It does. Yeah.
Then no. Then I hate it. I actually if it uses attunement, I actually hate
that free item slot we got, was that uncommon or rare?
only uncommon.
Oh god, there's so many. There's so few uncommon.
That is not something. That's a good item, not something I'd spend an attunement slot on. That's more of like I'd be willing to use it if it was something that could be passed
I do think some people in our party have attunement slots, so I think
I also have extra attunement slots as an
but we
artificer.
have Desmond making good cloaks that boost people's AC and saving
but
throws.
Desmond has spare slots though, and he could do something with this.
True, if Desmond wants to make the purchase on it, but I mean, I technically have an open attunement slot because I'm going to unattune from my spear soon because it's become completely redundant to me as I was put into an.
I mean, this thing
rogue
has
role.
a chance to block disintegrate. It's like kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll buy it. I'm gonna buy this one.
Okay, yeah, you can see it's got little it's almost like an arcade machine. You can put the gold into a little slot to unlock
It's
it.
gonna take a minute.
Just pour a whole sack of coins.
Yeah. You can see as he just kind of waits there beside us. Yes. So buying it, very nice. Okay, once you're kind of done putting all the coins in, and it does take platinum if you prefer that. You can see he's probably also got like a little magical change machine over in the corner of them as well, where you can now go and slot your gold in to get platinum pieces out as well.
What about copper? Can I pay in copper?
Yeah, it would take. I would say it would take. Or no, I would say when you start putting copper coins in, it does that thing where like when you're like paying for a ticket at a parking lot, it just comes back out and you're all scratch it. So you can see he's kind of almost discouraged. It's like magically enchanted to prevent you from paying copper. But once you've kind of filled that in, you can see the orb just goes like smoke dramatically comes off, and you see the tiny little cube rise. Thank you very much for your purchase. See this? Automated shop right now. I've got this thing down. Would you like to buy either of the others? The anti-magic armor or the Mind Guard crown?
I'm out of money. You guys can. Yeah.
How much was the crown again?
The crown was 10,000 gold. Dirty.
I have 7,600 on me.
I have 6,000.
I have 2,000.
God,
We could definitely
get so broke. man.
Yeah,
Because
what
you
the fuck?
because you and I bought the life drinker
Oh,
in the
right.
Fate, and it was like 8,000.
Right.
My God.
You can both pitch in some tech, and we can see which one of us wants it more.
I mean, if you're gonna unattune from something, I don't have any attunement slots right now. So
Okay, I was gonna
buy it
unattune for
you.
my spear because the idea of getting extra saving throws chance on like all the mental stuff means that if something bad happens, I might not be totally fucked up and unable to heal people.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
buy it.
important.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'll put in 5K.
I'll also put in 5K.
Okay.
Well, you put in 4, I'll put in 1, so that you have some money.
I also have
I put in more, but I need to buy potions and things because we used a bunch in the last trial thing.
Vandervol's gonna he's gonna point out the change machine as well. Has a little slot to the side, and he kind of pulls out this tray and he goes, "One of the cool things about this, if you don't want a magical item, I will purchase it off you. You pop it on this tray here, you push it inside, and I will pay you 50% of the item's cost at a retail value. So if there's any items you don't enjoy, you can earn some money back via me."
I'm looking through a bag right now. I'm gonna.
I'm tossing. Yeah,
There it
Carile
is.
pulls out the fucking bag of holding.
Morgane holds out the bag of holding,
Oh,
and then
I'm so
Chef
glad we
Dakla
finally
drops
got one of
out the
these.
Basco's bangle, the charge ticket.
If there's anything you don't want, it'll be half the price of. So to give you an idea, uncommon items will sell for 200 gold, rare items for 2,000, very rare for 20,000, and legendary items will give you 100k.
How about
How about
this?
we just write
Between
up a list of
sessions,
this?
yeah,
Yeah,
between sessions, we'll give you a list of things we don't want anymore, and
then you can just
do a transaction.
Yep. Vandervol, you can just see he kind of sits back and he's just like smug with himself, having built like automation in his own
We
shop.
have 22 magical items we don't use in our bag of holding.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Time
a
to get your money.
mess. Like that. I
And
like that a
you'll
lot.
see that people keep coming into his shop and like they're queuing up to use this thing now. People are spending. It's got like a 30 gold entry on any of the pools. So he's like charging for rerolls and other people and stuff. So he's kind of almost earning his money through this now. A lot of the campsites definitely dropping their money in the gambling
Oh,
market.
because they'll pull and then they can't afford what comes
Yeah,
up anyway,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it just makes free money. That makes sense.
He's just enjoying selling this, and he's got like common ones to the side for people that
Can
can
we just stay
afford
here
that.
and keep paying and pulling?
Well,
I just spent
mechanically,
most of my money.
We only got
And-
3.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
I just said that to trigger Joe. We can
Yeah.
lose.
I'll say
It is-
this:
I do
the
really
ones
like
that he
this
allows you to
idea
keep
there, Joe.
pulling. Thank you, man. The one he allows to keep pulling, he's got like 5 or 6 common machines, and that's the ones that people
They're
can
the ones
afford.
that have the commons
Yeah.
Right.
So he's like they're putting like 10 gold
These
in.
ones are like behind a rope.
Yeah,
pole.
exactly.
Penny
Yeah.
machines.
He's got you in the VIP section.
Yeah, the high roller.
Yeah,
Stop
exactly.
it
Yeah.
and let you in.
Yeah, you've got the little VIP ones, and everyone else is just pulling these common ones. You've got like elderly people in the camp who are just sat there, just constantly pulling, watching what comes up. And Vandervol's just rubbing his hands together. All right, yeah. So you get your 3 pulls. I'll work out how often we do that. We might do it more often anyway, because I'm just gonna basically build a list of
You'll
items.
be able to do it plenty more often now that we've spent half of our fucking money on like.
That wasn't even.
things
I
that
think
were
we're
like
fucking
being
broke, guys. I think we
Yeah,
just
no,
ran
that
out of
that was a
money.
big purchase, but I think that
This is
like,
the most money we've spent at Vandervol's.
Keep in mind though, there's 2 people that are not
two
people.
people, yeah, who
Yeah,
don't spend a lot
yeah,
on
that's true.
anything either.
V
so.
owes us all of her money after we gave her the fruit.
That also super true.
All of the
All right,
money.
I'm gonna tune to this crown then.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Do it.
gonna
I'm
give
gonna
you guys
tune
these
from my old spear.
items as well, because I'm pretty sure I can just drag them into you. How do I do this? I think this should show to players, just for you guys. I can show chat. You can see this as well.
Ooh.
That's your cube of force. It is only about an inch big, by the way, so don't lose it. I think it's designed to look like a dice. And then the second item was the crown. What was it called again? The crown. What's that damn crown called? The Mind Guard crown. Okay, I'll give you both those items.
Spectacular.
So with this cube,
Mm-hmm.
shield is like a reaction spell, but I don't think pressing the buttons would be. I'm not sure. Would it still be, if
good
I'm
question.
using shield on the cube, would it be a react? Because it's not saying use an action or bonus
Yeah,
action or
so
reaction
use your
to push the
reaction.
face. It doesn't.
Yeah. It's the actual description
Just
of it
the
is
action time
use an
of
action
the
to
thing.
press one of the cube's faces.
Yeah, so
Does it say it?
it's a free action to press the face, but you're expending the number of charges and thereby cast the spell. Yeah, so you'd be expending what you need to do for the spell, I believe.
Okay.
I think.
But the cube creates a barrier that is 15 feet on a side of you, moves with you, lasts for a minute, and then it lasts until you use an action to press the face, the sixth face, or it runs out of charges.
Oh no, you're reading the old
Right.
version. You're reading the legacy version.
Yeah.
You're reading the
is that the old
2014.
one?
Yeah. If you just look at
Yeah,
the one
this
I've linked,
changed.
they've cleaned it up just to make it very simpler and yeah. I think the intention is otherwise you'd be able to just keep going and just like cast 5 spells in one turn. So I think yeah, you just treat it like it's a little spell casting focus kind of thing for free spells.
Oh.
I mean, just the utility of having it as like a 10 use thing of shield that you can use.
Right?
Yeah, it's extreme
shields.
strong.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I get 1d6 of them back at dawn too.
Yeah, this is one of
It'll
those
save
rare
my spell
items
slots
you're
and
wondering
shit.
why it's rare.
Rules of force as well. It's crazy.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely one of those items where you're wondering how did they put that in rare. But, you know, it is. So, therefore, it is the price you paid. You exit out of Vanderval's shop as he continues his kind of gambling arc and return back into the into your general campsite. Is there anything you guys want to do before continuing on? Yeah.
Yeah, I think Tack, once they stepped out, would say, I feel like we should figure out where we want to have the camp stay before we get to Songrest. And it would probably be of value for you to know the layout before we get there.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know where Kios is, but pretending Indrasa's here, Tack would ask if we could use Indrasa's weird fancy table.
Yeah, I'm sure she was like, of course, dude. Come
on. Once we were all there, Tack would take a piece of paper and a pen and start to draw something, start to draw a little more, and then go, I'm not Indrasa, okay? This isn't going to be like a perfect fucking map. I can't recall exactly where.
All good.
Okay. And Tack will draw the like general layout of Songrest, where the Lord's house is, specifically where the Lord's house is, where the mines are, and where Chris's house is.
Yeah, you'd essentially see Songrest is designed to be built around kind of a mountain face. Kind of like if you just took the bottom layer of Minas Tirith, it's got this kind of larger city at the bottom, but the wall on the outskirts of it wraps around, kind of almost like creating like a bubble around a corner, which is where the mines are. They kind of almost this kind of like interior wall that blocks off the mines so that people on the outskirts can't go inside. So you've got the main gates and like the western gate that gets you straight to the mines, and the eastern gate that kind of gets you closer to the residential area. But the main gate will go straight through all of the merchant places and lead you straight onward. And then they've got a kind of a larger gatehouse, and if you go past that, there's a winding path that leads up to a castle that looms over the entire city. The castle sits on kind of a perch on one of the peaks of the mountain, or like the lower peaks, and stands kind of a good, like, probably like several, maybe 1,000 feet above the actual city itself, and kind of looks down over it. Outside of that, you can see the fields in front, and like roads that kind of lead over towards Songrest. And you can see it's pretty well protected in like kind of valleys. The closest thing to it is the river that runs into and under the wall. Has like a dockyard on the further end, which kind of where the river widens, and it's kind of where any of the small ships come in, smuggler ships. And they've kind of almost got like a secondary town that like is wrapped onto the dockyard with like probably a good like probably maybe 200 people can live there comfortably, but most of the town itself is condensed into the walls, and then any of the farmhouses outside. So it's a pretty standard place, but beautiful. You can see if Tack's kind of drawn them, you can see where the mines are kind of almost like they create like a glimmering effect that kind of lights up the town at night. But Songrest is a pretty formidable place. It's almost city-like with its population.
Where is Chris?
Chris's house. I'm gonna ask you, where do you feel like Chris would have lived? Closer to on the outskirts, near farmlands, or in the city, or?
If they're assuming that there are like servants' quarters on the grounds, I think Chris probably would have been offered one of those, and continues to live there.
Yeah. So up in the castle's areas where they've kind of almost got like their own exterior wall. They would lived in the grounds there. Up in kind of like built into the ramparts.
Yeah, Attack will point to like a little scratchy, tiny house that they put near the castle. So this is my parent, Chris, lives here. This is where I hope we'll be able to lay low if we need to, if we need somewhere to stay. They haven't given me any reason to think that we can't. I don't know what the current situation is there. The castle, of course, is where the lady lives, Pavia. She's difficult, but reasonable. She wants to do what's best for her people. Again, we don't have all the information, but I like to think that we'd be able to get help from her, information from her, something. Her son Orin also lives there. I don't know where Zonia is, but Orin has been trained as a mage his whole life. He's very intellectual. Zonia is the strategist. She's been trained to take over the guard and eventually be the new lady. Havigan, the Lord, died a long time ago. He's not there anymore. And these are the mines. That's sort of aside from the location leading to Horizon's Rest. It's why the conflict happened in the first place.
Okay. So Carile is going to describe the room that he saw from Clarab's vision.
Ooh.
He wants to just confirm with Tack if they recognize that room from his description.
Yeah, you would you describe the kind of pillared room, the kind of large hall, almost the kind of like ebon-like pillars that you could see inside that room. The only place that would be kind of grandiose enough for that, and where Kios is likely staying, would be the castle.
I mean, that sounds like the castle. I don't want to think he's in there, but that's where it would be.
Okay, well, looks like we've really got our work cut out for us then if we're getting into the castle. Unless I don't suppose you know a hidden way in there or something.
Do I? Do I know like a back way?
Oh, interesting.
I did grow up there, and kids be sneaky.
Yeah, give me a charisma check, just straight flat with advantage.
Ooh, okay. 28.
28. You know of two. One is through the sewers, and that's probably where most people sneak out. It gets you through most of the city itself, and there's almost like a kind of a great pathway that leads down from the castle itself, going underground with a very easy to kind of like an old poststone gate, a metal one that was often unlocked and left unlocked by kind of lazy guards going up and down towards the sewer area, and anyone who has to kind of go down and empty stuff. And you'd know for years the gate was never really changed. The lock was always kind of left off, and you knew where they kind of hid the keys sometimes in the few times they ever locked it. But it was an old rusty gate that was pretty much the only way to down to the sewage from the castle, for like kind of servant quarters to go down to. That's probably your main way in. You'd also know that the kind of once you get past the kind of gatehouse, going along the outskirts of the wall up at the top of the kind of the castle wall, that one of the back towers has been damaged for the last like 2 decades, and they've been meaning to repair it, but no one has ever done that because it's on the backside of the castle, and so there's no real fear of siege, meaning that people who are pretty good at climbing could climb up into the broken tower and kind of find their way in there. So yeah, the sewage entrance going through the waterways, and then also if you do go through the gatehouse way, you can sneak around the back of the castle.
Okay, Tack would kind of
Relay
draw
that.
both of those things on the map, yeah, and relay that information.
Okay, well that gives us at least some options other than running straight through the front door.
Yeah.
If you had to choose one, which one would you choose of those two?
The sewers. I think it's the most accessible to all of us. She'll like look around at everybody. To all of us, I think it's the most likely that we could all get in that way.
Okay. I guess that at least takes care of that part of the plan.
I think we've discussed this before, but we should leave the town far away from Songrest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Joe, how close are we to one path?
Yeah.
Within the next few hours.
I feel like we leave him at one path. Like,
Yeah.
One thing you'd know about, give me a history check for one path.
Okay.
I'll give you advantage again because it's
Me,
the town
I
straight
assume.
over. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone else who wishes can as well. I mean, I know Carlisle and
24.
whatnot. You live close, but 24 is enough to give you pretty much all the information about the town. One path was the original end of the long road, so it's a very much a kind of a masonry town full of craftsmen, or it was. In recent years, in the last like decade or so, those masons have started to use their coin that lord in wizards and people of high standing. So now it's become its own kind of almost magical epicenter in the north. It's kind of seen as this place where like wizards are trained and sent to. They're trying to build their own schooling system there. They're trying to compete with the Land of Discovery down in the Weeping Hills. And they're trying to almost build their own academy for wizards in all weathers. So it's a very much magical forward town.
Okay. Yeah, when discussing where to leave our cool unnamed city, I think Tack would look at Morgain and say, one path, it's they train mages there. Do you think that, I don't know, if we needed some sort of a reason for us to leave everything there, is there grounds to say that we are looking for some mages to add to our guard ranks, or people
I mean,
attuned
we
to
probably
magic
should
in
add
way?
some anyway, truth be told.
yeah.
And
after what happened
if they
last
train
time.
mages, there's probably plenty looking for employment.
What I'm wondering. Okay.
It's a good idea.
Thank you. And then Tex crunches up their face. Who would we send? Who do you trust to find people to add? We won't be here, so someone else would need to interview. Do you interview guards? How does that work?
Well, can't really interview a guard. We know how good they are until they start guarding or fail at it.
I'm trying to. Let me see. Did I point ahead of guard, Joe, or no?
I think that would be on you. Oh, as in like you put a lieutenant in or not?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I think you put Sir Trippy there.
Yeah, I did.
So yeah, he's helping out with the guards.
Yeah, okay. I would summon Sir Trippy.
Yeah, you see as the Largo comes in, kind of ears drooping down to his back, kind of wearing his almost like slight chainmail. He steps in, holding his hand on his sword. You summon me, sir?
Yes, we're thinking of hiring some mages for the guard.
Not
You
a
think
bad
you could
idea.
Take care of that?
Absolutely. I mean, if we come across any place to recruit them, I can.
Yes, we will be.
Then yeah, I can put them to a test.
Excellent.
He kind of stands up straight. So,
What kind of budget how much is it typically to hire a person? Would I know that? Or at least
good
how
question.
much I'm paying them a day?
I would say a mage is probably going to be on the pricier end because it comes with a certain skill set. It depends what kind of mage you want to go for. A sorcerer is probably going to be a little bit cheaper because they are often seen as kind of more common folk because it can happen to anyone. But a wizard would be a bit more expensive, especially if they've gone through academy training. So I would say it depends on the level of spellcasting you're looking for. For like up to like first level spells, you're probably paying similar to what you'd pay a normal person, a normal guard. Not more than probably a mage would probably start at a gold a day. Whereas a stronger wizard up to like second or third level, you're probably talking about 10 gold a day. If you get fourth level wizard, you're probably talking like 100 gold a day, like way more expensive kind of.
Okay.
One that's
Morgane
kind
will
of
hand him like a coin purse with 50 platinum.
Okay. He kind of shakes and goes, should be more than enough. Pops it down.
Yes. Make sure you treat the guards to something as well with what's left.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's settled then.
So, and he walks out to go and do his duty.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I wish we could be going in with a full plan for all this, but I don't think we're going to really know exactly what's going on until we get to Songrest.
I mean, I could contact Chris again, but I don't know. Maybe it's best not to. Not even sure what I would ask. They seem very cagey with information.
Well, it might be worth it either way to check in and tell them that we're on our way in case they need help, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Tak will get up and go back to their tent and send to Chris in Kolga, Goliath. And we'll say, it's me. I'm wearing our face, but I'll change it. We'll be there in a couple of days.
You end it there. You hear the response in a whispered tone. Coming here? Go to the docks instead. Cast a rod at the end of the east pier. Use a coin for bait. And leaves it there.
Okay.
Is there anything else you guys want to do before making your way to Wampa?
Yeah, I would follow up again.
Yeah, do it.
I would send again and say, should we be sure not to be seen? I bring help.
You hear back. The city is under a madman's control. Rebellion is forming. Do not enter. Unless disguised. Careful on the road.
Okay. Dak would go back. I like to imagine that everybody's like, okay, well, let's go back to our normal day. And Tak would come right back in and be like, stop, new plan. We'll go back to the weird drawing.
I'll sit back down.
And we'll circle the dock. We need to come in through here. Kios apparently is in control of the city in general. I've been given instructions on how to find, I assume, the rebellion of people that are trying to go up against his rule, but we need to go to the docks, preferably without being seen.
Well, that shouldn't be too hard for some of us, and we can take care of that then.
Sam, could you come get Peach?
Yeah.
She's barking a lot.
I don't know if it's coming through. He doesn't know the code to my door. Hold up, 1 sec.
Yep.
So, how have you two been?
Yeah, you know, man, just living life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Been
living
great.
life. Should I take the 5-minute break now? Should probably take the 5-minute break.
Yes. Yes.
Let's go ahead and use the loot and whatnot. We'll be back in 5.
Okay, sounds
see
good.
See you guys soon.
Dodger, we're taking our 5-minute break.
Okay, chat. I don't know. And we'll bring it down. Hello. Welcome back, everybody.
Perfect
What was
timing
everyone
for me,
laughing
huh?
about, dude? What was everyone laughing about? Dodger?
I just asked everyone how they were doing. Like, I don't know why it was a big deal.
Yeah, it was just because it was like a weighted silence. It was quite funny. That's all.
Yeah, I just asked a nice question.
Yeah, it's a lovely question. Sam's not going to believe that now.
No, he
No,
doesn't. believe it.
I do believe that. I believe that.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, bringing us back into things. Is anyone doing anything before you kind of set off towards one path?
No, I don't think so.
Along the road, Desmond, you're going to get a point where, like, you're wrapping around one of the mountains. Can everyone here just give me a perception check?
God, I
Oh,
love doing
boy.
perception checks.
I'm great at them. Yeah,
No
10.
one sees quite like my character.
Are you walking near each other when the camp's moving?
I would think so.
Yeah.
Or at least
I
I
mean,
would.
there's
Carlisle
most
walks
of the
pretty
six-
near everyone.
Yeah. It makes sense you don't pass it Morgane. It's very much a sight one. You'd get a moment where Quintatio, the purple dragonborn's walking beside you, Desmond, and kind of like excitedly like taps you on the shoulder. Carlo, you'd see it first. The mountain faced your side. It looks like a kind of a general mountain with like rolling portions of rockery as it goes up. But you can see right at the top, embedded towards the peak, are these kind of great cave openings beside each other, kind of adjacent but a little bit curved. Huge rounded cave openings. But then just above that, these kind of awesome sized, like marbled rockery. Not as jagged as any of the others. And you can see pupils in it. Like the entire mountain is watching your party and the road as you're kind of going past. You'd see that first.
That's a little unsettling. Honestly.
Quintatio goes, we are truly blessed, my friends. That, up there, is a sight to behold. The mountain that breathes. Mont Spelan. Do not worry, he has been awake now for 2 decades or so, but you know it is a rare sight to see him peering down. Often his eyes are closed. He does not move, but if you pay close attention, which you would see, Carlisle, on occasion, instead of rocks just trickling down the mountain, sometimes there's an airflow and you can see the rocks go kind of get breathed into those 2 caves, and you realize those caves are his nose. Did you see? I don't know if I saw it.
Wait, so that thing's actually
I saw
alive?
it. Yep.
It is
What
alive.
exactly is it?
It is believed by some who study the monsters of this world to be a living primal elemental from the elemental plane. From a time before all life started to come here. Perhaps even before the dragons ever came to this land. It is a creature of ancient property. And it begs the question, does it not? What if all of the other mountains are like this one? And if so, is he the last to fall asleep? Or more terrifyingly, the first to wake? But we won't know. Not until more happen. But he's the only one reported of his kind at this time, and he does not really do anything. I don't even think he eats.
Interesting.
But him looking down on us is a blessed sign. And he kind of like rushes off to tell more people about the same thing, kind of point it out. And the party just like wraps around the mountain itself. Forever, his eyes just kind of gazing and watching. And then
I
you...
don't trust that fucking mountain dude. Something off about that. Don't like him.
you
Something ain't right.
Something ain't right about the mountain. You would go past the mountain, and not too far away, you see the kind of beginnings of road signs leading to one path. We'll catch Dodger up on this in a second, but when one path comes into sight, well, it doesn't. Because where you'd imagine the town to be, lining around the entire town area, are a series of runes. And for you, Morgain, you would see kind of, let me just check. You'd see the colorations of these runes having been used in recent times. I believe orange is orange conjuration for you. Is it green?
Checking. Conjuration is yellow.
Yellow. You'd see yellow runes wrapped around, suggesting conjuration magic was used. Around the entirety of this town that is not there. No buildings, nothing in sight. You can see some discarded barrels and kind of leftover wheelbarrows with like broken wheels, and some kind of implants into the ground where houses once were, where they were built with foundations. You can see almost like someone has moved their house and everything inside, so you can see where the kind of the indents are. But everything is gone. And in its place in the center of where the town should be is a signpost. And in common, you can see this kind of almost like leaflet or like a scroll is kind of pinned on this kind of signboard. And it says, under the orders of House Festa, one path has been relocated to northern Winterspring, under the guidance of the Emerald Child of the Star Mother. The town's gone.
What?
You see this kind of mustering of people that might have known of one path before, confused.
I mean, it's not the first time I've heard about a moving town, but I didn't think they were all over the place.
These are conjuration runes.
You can roll an Arcana check if you want more game.
Yeah, I will.
I'll give you advantage.
Oh, thank you. 20. Dirty 20.
I believe because you've at least discussed having the spell or wanting the spell, it's the teleportation circle on a much wider scale. They built like a massive teleportation circle, which is essentially just shifted the town, and it's kind of fading. Pretty heavy magic by many wizards, clearly, but it's the magic is fading to suggest almost that it was cast in the last few weeks.
It's a teleportation circle, a big one. I'd say a few weeks old.
And how far did they move it?
Possible to say.
Does the name of the place that they like that the sign said, is that familiar to anyone here?
Oh, I would say it's common knowledge for anyone who's been around towns and civilization. Winterspring is an entire different continent, different from Velreath and Hyloma.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So they gone.
Well, that complicates our plan a little.
Sir Trippy would approach you, Morgane, and just hand back the bag of platinum. I'm not sure I'll be able to hire here, sir. But,
No, I don't think we will.
Well, I would still argue this is probably the safest place to leave the town, considering I'm going to assume we're not the only folks that have come up this way and been shocked to see the entire place missing. I'd be safer overall.
Well, what do we do now?
I mean, does it change anything?
Doesn't really. This is just where we were planning on stopping for a bit, but I suggest we press forward, leave who we got here.
I mean, if we could set the camp up here, we'd probably receive the trade intended for the town.
That's my thoughts on it.
Not the worst idea.
All right, well, let's let
Okay.
everyone know that they're going to be here for a little bit.
yeah, you can do the rounds around the town, around your moving camp, and essentially just let people know to set up camp here. It's a pretty good place to set up camp. You can see there's still wells and whatnot that are being left behind nearby. There's waterways and kind of places for people to gather food. Little woodlands nearby as well. So it's a good place for a camp, as it was a town. But with you doing that, you would be able to continue along the road to towards the actual road towards Songrest. This would see you away from your camp now. Any kind of camping you do will be in your small kind of unit of 6. So if there's anyone you want to bring with you, any people you want to talk to before going, now would be the time to do so. Otherwise, it'd be you 6 on the road.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm pretty good on that.
Yeah. Come to hold it down. And then, yeah, we'll head out.
Okay. Then you travel along the road towards Songrest. You would keep going for the next kind of several hours, camping at night, I presume, in the kind of the safety of like the valleys that you pass through. And the way to Songrest is not too far away from one path. It's fairly close. You can kind of almost pass by the mountain ranges. And it's not long until you'd get to this one certain valley where you can see in the distance some of the woodlands nearby kind of bracing beneath the mountains to their side and the hills to their side. You can see a wall that has been built. And in front of the wall, these ramps that go up. It's almost like the border control of like this area. You can see there's kind of the regions between of Songrest and one path. This is kind of usually locked off for those who are traveling towards Songrest. The portcullises are down, which I'm just going to power game Tack for a second here. Tack would know that this path is usually open. They usually keep this way as it's the kind of one way to get towards Songrest, and they would only ever close it up if there was kind of troublesome times inside, as a kind of the first line of defense to ready the town in case of attack, as it's the main way through. This main road is blocked off by this kind of wooden wall with kind of a few soldiers on top. It's not super manned. It's kind of more of a scouting tower. You've probably got a dozen or so soldiers that could actually guard this place. You're a few hundred feet out. You can see there's a couple of archers on top. The gate controls are locked down. The kind of portcullises have closed off the front of it. There's wooden spikes of palisade out the front of the walls, and there's a small tower as well, only about maybe 30 feet high on the front of the area, almost like a checkpoint tower. And you would see in the distance. Give me a perception check. I'm going to set the DC at 25 from this distance. You guys are well enough away that you can see things before they see you. But you can see they're definitely there's watchers here.
I don't think I can even reach that unless I nat 20 it.
Did you flash of genius me?
I could. Oh, wait, yeah, because you did it. 23, yeah, I'll give 2 points.
With the kind of aid of Desmond then, you would notice the entirety of this gatehouse is clearly... There's soldiers there, though they don't wear kind of tabards. They don't wear markings to show who they are. They wear more on the lines of kind of like scale mail, and a couple of them are wearing leathers. They look almost like they're either mercenaries or bandits, but hired guards. Out the front, sitting on the ramps together, are these 2 large ogres. One of them has a chain over their shoulder and holds a kind of a great maul to their side. They're playing like a dice game where you can see they're using skulls as the dice. They're kind of almost doing that cup game where you have to guess which one has the skull under. They're using a bucket with skulls. The other ogre is red-skinned, has kind of pelts over them, has a net that's kind of almost has like flies coming off of it, along with these 2 axes to their side. And then leaning on top of the tower nearby is a slightly smaller ogre, outside of all of the people that are kind of wandering around. This one is yellow-skinned, kind of almost this very like bright yellow, bald head, is kind of like leaning on the side of the post, a little bit bored, wears a wizard robe that is way too short for them. And it's kind of almost like tearing, like they've kind of pulled it off of a large fellow, but then they've tried to wear it themselves. But you also notice something else with the 25, which you wouldn't have got unless you hit it. You notice bodies hanging from the palisade walls, strung up, 2 of them. And you'd notice the symbol of Dread Wardens, Knights of the chapter Morgain is part of, put up almost as trophies on the wall.
Okay, we're gonna stop walking now, and we're all gonna move into the woods. Carlisle.
Hi, gang. What did I miss?
Lead everyone away from the road.
I'll give you a quick Dodger recap. As you're walking along,
City gone.
just some lore about a living mountain in the area that just watches. Nothing to worry about in general, but more just kind of world building lore. And then when they arrived at one path, I posted the signpost in the group chat. They found out that one path had actually put a giant teleportation circle down and had moved to a different continent. So the camp's set up there regardless, using it as kind of a grounds for people to come and trade with them. Leaving the camp behind, you've journeyed through, and at the kind of the border between Songrest and one path, the kind of the entrance through, which you would usually see as a wooden kind of palisade wall, a scouting tower area. It's usually always open. The portcullis is usually open. They're very welcome to traders and whatnot. It seems like it's guarded now, manned by several people, mercenaries in appearance. The portcullises are down, and out the front are 2 larger ogres sat kind of playing a game of skull in a bucket outside the front of the ramps, and then one slightly smaller ogre who's leaning on a watchtower just in the front of the area. It looks like they've locked it down, these mercenaries and these ogres. So, you pulled off into the woods area. Over to one side. You're a few hundred feet away from this area right now.
This is the outside of Songrest, correct?
It's not Songrest itself. This is kind of a checkpoint to go into like the main sections of Songrest. To get into like, you're a good few miles out. This is kind of almost their first warning tower, where if they saw trouble or an army approaching, they'd lock this up and then warn the town. So it's usually open.
Once we left one path, I would have changed into the most boring looking man possible.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be like a deeply forgettable looking person.
Mm-hmm.
So, evidently, that checkpoint is compromised. Either we are going to want to go around it, or we're going to want to figure out some kind of disguises, because I'm pretty sure Sir Morgain here is not going to be welcomed in.
Wait, compromised how? Describe it.
Well, there's 3 ogres, and there are 2 Dreadvault Knights currently, deceased, dangling from the walls.
Describe the ogres.
Carlisle will do so.
Are these cookbook ogres?
And they said there's a rebellion? Is that right?
In Songrest? I believe so.
Well, okay. I have an inkling of who this might be, but I'll follow you.
Shall we avoid them?
Most
Unless we
certainly.
want to. Hey, if all of you want to go in there and get them, that's also an option. But I was under the assumption that we're trying to sneak into the city. Probably don't want to kill a bunch of folks outside.
Joe, is it clear, like, how we could just go around this checkpoint?
You could climb into kind of the mountain passes. This is kind of mostly to stop larger forces from marching through. So you could awkwardly kind of climb into the hills above or into the mountain passes and hopefully avoid detection. The way in which to get into Songrest otherwise would be several days northward around a kind of mountain pass and hope that you can kind of climb into awkwardly there. which is usually blocked off. They've kind of almost like blocked this so it becomes like the valley into Songrest is defended from this side. But because you're a party of 6, there is a chance that you can just kind of sneak through, climb over the kind of hillsides. There'll be some stealth checks, so they don't warn anyone if they catch you. Along with maybe a potential athletics check if there's anything dangerous up there. But you could definitely sneak through past it and avoid the checkpoint entirely.
I think Carile will defer to Tack on these decisions since you know the area the best.
Tack would look a little worried, kind of look at the rock face. I mean, I've climbed it before, but I was younger. We could try. I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about looks at the clunkier members of the team.
Yeah.
But
I'll say for the sake of story as well, Indrasa and V being with you, they won't need to roll. It's going to be down to you 4 to see.
they both have ways to fly, don't they? Andrasa can like
That too.
shapeshift and
Carile
fly.
can also fly now.
That's a good point. So they can fly over.
So
It's probably going to be easier to get in under cover of darkness. I'll be less of a problem that way.
How much can everybody carry? Can we just all fly? Whose back can I sit on?
I have a -1 in strength. So I won't be carrying anyone, I'm afraid.
Fair enough.
V could technically carry someone. She's strong.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving Morgane and Desmond to sashay.
The two loudest fuckers in the group.
Okay.
All right, we'll fly over. You guys walk through the gate, and we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll just like, who knows?
What if V just one at a time, back and forth, just brought us all?
It's a potential
Yeah, I
thing you
mean,
can do.
either way, it's worth waiting until nighttime for something like this.
Okay.
So I think we post up in the woods and we wait till cover of night, and then we try to sneak everyone past this.
Okay. Then you can do so. You can wait until the cover of night, wait for kind of the ogres to go to bed, the night watch to kind of be put on, and this just general kind of quieter time happening over at the gatehouse. When nighttime falls, the valley's pretty dark. You'd see they kind of light a couple of torches on top of the wall and just kind of illuminate it like that. And they leave a few kind of illuminated kind of torches on the road itself just to kind of see if anyone's approaching. But it seems to still be fairly dark down there. They're not really looking to draw too much attention. And you can see this is kind of like the boring... they don't expect much action. Not many people really travel this far to Songrest on the long road, so it's not super visited. Giving you the chance to kind of sneak through on the cover of night. Are you trying to fly? Are you flying over the kind of mountainside? Are you going to fly over the wall, or are you going to try and sneak past the wall? How would you like to do it?
If taking our time and just flying everybody to safety is an option, that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to be
Like, what's the time difference between like flying more over the mountains than just flying directly overhead people where they could possibly be like, the fuck is that?
mountains would probably be an extra. I'd say it'd take about an hour compared to like a half an hour flying over the wall. Flying over the wall would be flying over the wall probably only take 10 minutes. It's gonna be quick back and forth. The DC for being seen over the wall is a slightly lower, or slightly higher DC you'd have to beat. But it's still going to be relatively low because you're doing this at night and they're not really expecting people to fly over the walls. This is kind of being put out here as stopping any like larger portions of campsites. If you'd brought your camp with you, you'd have probably caught attention. So the DC for being spotted is going to be low regardless, but much, much lower if you take the longer road over the mountain. Take like an hour as opposed to 10 minutes.
Just take the hour, right?
We're not in a rush. There's no like real time limit here of like significant danger. I'm not interested in us getting caught because we decided to save 30 minutes.
No.
To be honest.
Okay.
Also, technically splitting the party that way, if like they get caught and the last person is just 2 people getting shot down.
In which case, it would be V making the stealth checks. So we'll use her sheet.
I'm gonna have Carile fly along with V, and I'm going to help them.
Okay. I'll give advantage. Question. How many rages has V got? 4. Is there anyone in particular that you think she might rage for, which would give her, you allow her to use her strength instead of her dex, which is a +3 to the roll? For
I mean, the heaviest
advantage.
person,
Probably me. I'm made of metal.
probably you, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
In which case, we're going to do each of the rolls. It's going to be advantage. The first stealth check.
What the fuck?
Okay, so I'm going to add 2d8 to it.
Okay.
With my ability.
Yes, because at the moment it's a 5.
So I'm gonna add an 11, so that's a 16 instead.
Yeah, you could see there's a point where V's clearly going to be seen, and you could like almost drop a cloak in front and like block out the wing that's being seen, and you fly over carefully, probably putting tack over first. The second one we're going to do is Morgain.
Mm-hmm.
With a 19 in stealth with the aid of Carile. Morgane, you're flown over the top of it. This next one will have a +3 for Desmond. And with a 25, easily, Desmond is also carried over the wall as well. The checkpoint is kind of missed by that. By the time the hour has gone by, all of your party, we're going to skip Injustice just because I don't want to initiate combat with someone that's not here as like a.
She can also fly.
Yeah, and can also fly herself. Yeah, exactly. So you fly all the way over to the other side, kind of passing by the checkpoint, flying around the edge of the mountain that kind of blocks it, and you skip the checkpoint entirely.
Yay!
Needing not to worry there. You would know this area, Tack, is going to be the road now that leads towards Songrest. It's kind of built into valleys. There are a couple of walls that are built over towards like the northeast that kind of block off other ways in. So now you've kind of almost entered into that kind of road that leads down to Songrest itself. And you would see kind of in the dead of night that there are these are all the fields, the farm fields and the kind of flat land that kind of leads over towards the city itself, built against a mountain. You would notice that there are no lights on in any of the farms. The crops have been tilled recently with little to no one working on fields to replant. It looks almost like it's just quiet towards the city, which is lit up. Not as much as you'd expect. At night, usually Songrest is alight with torches and just the living. It's a place of just vibrance all throughout the night and day. It looks quieter now. It looks stricter, almost like under military control. Like the lights are only lit up on the kind of the military ramparts. The town itself looks quiet at night. Only like a quarter illuminated, with the kind of castle looming over it in the distance.
Well, I know Songrest as like an economic hub.
Mm-hmm.
Does it seem like, do I see abandoned carts or like evidence that people have come here with intention to trade or buy and didn't leave, or something happened to them?
Give me an insight check.
A 22.
You start to get the kind of the vibe that, and the feeling that farmers weren't necessarily like dragged away. There's no sign of like distress there. It was almost like these kind of farms in the areas around where you are now, and they're leading up towards the actual town. It looks almost like what you'd expect of wartime, where you take all of the crops you have, whether they're kind of fully grown or not, condense them, bring them into the town. It looks like people have moved their wagons over towards the town and been brought inside. Farmers have kind of... It's almost like the city is drawn in its populace. Alongside that, you do have like some elements of a lack of traders that have passed by, which I'd say with your insight, you can see the checkpoint before prevented probably a lot of traders from coming in. They've almost locked off Songrest from more people coming in, being very selective. So it looks like it almost feels like it's wartime, but without any of the rush. It feels more like they are preparing for something, or at least closing off Songrest to the outside world. You can see even the docks, which are out on the outskirts, like they're not even right outside the city. It's a good like probably mile out, closer to the river, the main river, the kind of wider portion of it. Even that looks kind of quiet, though doesn't have any of the kind of military aspect of lighting that the city does. It's more kind of just quiet, like as in not abandoned, but definitely undermanned, the docks. Less ships in the harbor. It seems very much like Songrest is internalized.
I think Tack, as they're walking, would suddenly stop, just kind of staring at the town.
You okay?
I don't understand why it's like this. All Weathers worked so hard to get Songrest. Now they just let it get taken over by someone else. Do they know? I don't get it. Really, they would have left people here.
Yeah. I don't know. I get the feeling that a lot of people don't know what's going on here specifically, because the only reason we know is because of you and because of Clark.
Yeah.
I haven't been hearing any rumors about it from anyone else.
Yeah. It's just weird. It's just weird to see it like this, that's all. Sorry. Let's
It's all right.
Where is the sewer gate? Is it outside of like the main wall?
Yeah, it kind of is like just over where the river kind of goes around towards the mountain, and kind of the smaller portions of the rivers goes inside, like a little offshoot under the wall, over on the kind of western portions, near where the mines are.
Pack would start leading everyone in that direction for the sewer gates.
Okay.
Right.
You would pass by the farmlands, skipping. You skipping past the docks. You're gonna go straight beeline for the gate, yeah?
Oh, maybe I'm confused about the layout.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
We can
I'll
go to the docks before the sewers.
Yes. So I will show you kind of. I'll just draw just a very general makeshift map for you guys.
A JoeFudge original coming out.
The hand drawn.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, here
Zooms
we go.
out. Zooms out.
You are essentially. Let me see. Where's the little drawing tab? If the kind of mountainside at the back is built like this, the mountains are generally like this behind. The castle is built up here with a winding path kind of up the mountain. The general city is in just all across, like the wall goes around the city here. And then kind of juts out a little bit and does this where the mines are. And then kind of all this is the city beneath. And the docks where the river kind of comes in is to the side. Oh, let me just for blue. Where the river kind of comes in is to the side. The grate that you're expecting is right here, going under the wall, and then the dock town is kind of down here. It's actually around a wider portion of the river, so it's outside. The dock town is kind of like the farmlands, which you're building up to, which is all kind of down this way, as the road kind of leads up to the main gate. The dockland is kind of outside of the town itself, so you can. The sewage gate's how you get into the city from the docks, and outside of it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Then we'd go quietly to the docks.
Okay.
Let's see if there's a rod I can pilfer.
You see, when you kind of get there, you're slipping across. There's like a series of warehouses and whatnot built by the docks where the kind of rivers are a bit wider. A series of piers for smaller boats. A couple for larger ships. Songrest doesn't have much in the way of marine trade for the most part. Occasionally they'll get bigger ships coming through, especially from the west. But it's quiet right now. There's like no ships parked in there, except for there'll be one kind of darkened ship, a schooner, only kind of a one singular sail with a smaller one, kind of docked into one of the small sections. But you'd be able to see a few people who are wandering around carrying things into some of the warehouses or going inside their residential houses here, keeping their heads down. Very little in the way of guards. It's like, if anything, no guards that you'd expect. Anyone that you see walking around is only people that are kind of like privately hired to look after any of the warehouses. It doesn't seem like any of the city guards are actually brought out here. Almost like they've abandoned the dock as well as the farmland. But you'd definitely be able to find a few just fishing rods around the area.
I'll wrap some twine around a coin and attach it to a hook on the end of a rod and put it into the water.
You leave it for a couple of minutes. And then you feel a slight tug on the end of the rod. And it's one tug, then two quick ones, and then one slow one again.
Any Morse code enjoyers? I pull it out.
You'd see attached to it now, encased in a little kind of glass vial, is a note.
Okay. I open the glass vial.
When you read the note, it simply says, the last warehouse on the end of the dock. Knock 3 times. Pause. Knock 2 more times. Pause. Knock once.
Okay. Can you post that?
Yep.
Thank you. Pac will not read it out loud, but well, it's dark. And there's people around even if they are in their houses. So Tack would say, this way. I assume I would know where the warehouses are.
Yeah, you can see them kind of lined up. The Docklands is not that big. Outside of like houses and the warehouses, that's pretty much all there is. You can see where the kind of, some of them are lining on the western dock, some of them are on the eastern dock. Most of them are kind of somewhat abandoned or not used very well, or just kind of used as storage. So you would see that this one kind of looks quiet in itself.
Okay. Yeah, goes to last warehouse on the eastern dock.
Mm-hmm. You see there's a door out the front. Looks thick, kind of strong, almost... You'd expect these doors to be barred, it is, as people kind of protect their wares. You can see it's pretty heavy duty kind of double door with like a larger kind of bar on the inside, so you can kind of feel the weight of it. Wooden large door.
Tack would step forward as though to knock, and then would stop and look to Morgain. We're in front of a bunch of warehouses. We've been asked to knock. Do you see anything on the building in front of us?
Is the door... Do I see anything?
No magic.
How thick is the door?
I'd say a good, like, probably like 5 inches. It's kind of like a wooden kind of door. Clearly relying on the bar that's like blocking it on the inside.
Okay.
Sorry, I just looked at chat.
Can I...
Said,
if I look through the door...
you drew looks like a penis with double balls.
Yeah, of course, yep. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yep, double ball penis, yep.
Is there anything through the door? Because it's not... I can technically detect magic through it.
Yeah, nothing. No magic.
Okay. No, it's clear.
Okay. Steps forward.
Mm-hmm.
Knocks 3 times. Pause. Knocks twice. Pause. Knocks once.
There's a moment of silence. Then you hear a voice. Name?
Bob.
Business?
I'm it. I got a note.
You hear the kind of, and then the bar kind of leaning. You see the door opens. You see this kind of broad, burly human man with like a kind of a broad chest, barrel chest, a big beard. He goes, get in, come on.
Yeah, goes in.
Yeah.
Okay. You see kind of a mostly like emptied warehouse, loads of storage around. And then he kind of peers across and then closes the door behind, puts the bar back down, turns around and goes, Bob, do you know the word subtlety?
I'm looking for Chris.
How do you know about Chris?
Tack will change their face back to the shared face.
Oh. Are you Chris? Are you...
Tack, my parents, do you know where they are?
No. But the lady's going to want to meet you. They mentioned
Lady,
you might be coming.
Which lady?
Lady Sonia.
She's here?
This is the heart of the rebellion.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Well, I'm Frank. I'll lead you down to them.
Nice to meet you, Frank.
He walks over towards this kind of one of the storage crates, lifts it up, and you can see there's a little kind of like trap door below it. He lifts it up, and you can see staircases that lead underwards. It's almost like it's kind of mined out like a smuggler's tunnel. Yeah, looks crossing. Well, welcome to our foundation. It's good to have you. The lady will be down there waiting.
Tack looks like frozen for a second and then shakes it off and nods and goes down the steps.
Yeah, Carile follow.
Yeah, if anyone stays behind, you can, but he's going to otherwise wait for all of you to go down, put this trapdoor, and pull any of the storage back over it. You'd follow a little set of stairs going down into a tunnel that's been kind of mined out, and you can see the door down there is open, and you can see several people kind of walking around, but it's quieter down there. It's almost this kind of like abandoned mine shaft where the way the pillars are holding everything up, it's all going to be built below. You can see a series of rooms that are dug out and probably been more recently mined. But you can see some people kind of wandering past you, taking kind of no heed as if it's common to see others join this rebellion. This place below here probably fits a good maybe 60 or so people if they shuffle together in the various like larger rooms. You can see where some people are kind of eating and kind of sharing out any of the foods they've got, breads that they've stolen. Some people kind of handing out sacks of stuff. Others sleeping in their quarters as it is late at night and starting to kind of wind down for the night. But you can see up ahead, kind of in an oval area, you can see there's almost like a planning room. A table's been put out, pinned ahead of you. You can hear the kind of almost a bit of an argument going on up ahead of you. But a slight glimmer of light, which you would recognize, Tack, as kind of being the light of Lady Sonia, her natural kind of form just emanating, glowing from the end of the table.
Yeah. Tack would walk toward it and probably not realizing would slowly be picking up pace to get there.
The kind of moment you step through, you can see now several people are stood around this table, some sat. You would recognize a few of them. The first you recognize is clearly Lady Sonia. She stood at the end, her Goliath form, beautiful with the kind of blonde flowing hair, but far more how you'd seen her when she was in her youth. Less wearing her regal outfits, more wearing kind of leathers and comfortable clothing that kind of wraps around her. Looks more like a warrior. She kind of leans over the table, which you can see now is a kind of a crude map of Songrest itself, with various kind of pins and just little kind of carved stone to almost like represent their armies and their forces and anyone they're doing. You'd recognize briefly a kind, hardened turtle, a kind of a snapping turtle-like face. Dockmaster Terramol was always kind of kind to you and Zonia when you were children. You'd also notice, as well as you, Morgain, one of the people on your list is over to the left. Fresm Alder. You can see a hobgoblin with grey hair, mutton chops. The one who had escaped that the Bastard of Beauty had warned you all. Stands kind of, he sits to one side, and you can see he's kind of smoking on a pipe, observing, arguing back. You kind of cut between their argument. He's got a disagreement with Zonia. You see over to another side, a little bit meeker, skinnier, is a changeling. This one in just kind of the white form, skinny, kind of maybe only 18, 19 years old, kind of clutching her arms around Repina, kind of arms around her chest, listening to the conversation, and just kind of nodding her head, agreeing with Zonia whenever she speaks. You see Loramil, the gnome scholar that came to Crown Art Hall, without his Goliath bodyguard, but you see him kind of leaning over the table. He's got like a little step stool, and he's leaning across, just kind of examining it, keeping it in his mind. You see a character you wouldn't recognize, wearing kind of like fineries and kind of a tunic with a cloak down both shoulders, a hood up, a mask. Everyone here, if you guys know anything about the City of Sins, you might know about that. If you frequented there, or if you might have heard of it, give me a history check.
City of Sins?
Yes.
I haven't even heard that
is it
out
what
of
it sounds
character,
like?
bro. So
Yeah.
I won't be rolling.
Does anyone know?
Oh, a nat 20 to.
Oh my god, a nat 20 on Desmond.
What stories have I heard?
So, the City of the Seven, or the City of Sins, I'll bring you guys back to the main map so you can kind of see where it is as well.
Makes more sense now.
Yes. Is an independent. I'll show chat as well. Right here in the middle of the Breakaway Isles is a large city-state. It is a city renowned for its quadrants built into 7. And when you go there, you lose your identity. You wear a mask. The mask representing the sin that you would like to kind of commit in the city. Those who go there for gluttony will feast and dine and everything they want. You can mix and match your masks. You can ask for all 7 and you can get a mask that's built of all 7. But the idea is when you're in the City of the 7, the vast majority of people wear masks. Those who wear them outside of it are usually residents of the city. Those who are so used to being in this mask form, to losing their identity behind it, hide skin away and wear only the mask as their face. You can see this individual who kind of wears this kind of tunics and fineries and their hood up, wears a mask of greed. You can see this kind of almost smirk on the face, and kind of a glimmer of gold in the eyes. It's almost like they're almost kind of like Venetian masks. He stands to one side, his arms kind of folded behind his back, listening to the argument, and kind of cradling his head in his hands. You'd see one final individual in the group. The Bastard of Beauty, Zaxxas Thandanis, sits there. Aldhan spoke with you, kind of cradling his head in his hands, in his kind of human form of wearing his kind of white hair, eyes softly glowing. He kind of leans up, and he notices your group first. And smiles. And then Lady Zonia kind of turns and goes, "We are busy strategizing, right?" You're alive.
My lady.
No, there's no need for that. You're alive. Good. How did you get past the checkpoint? We've heard that they locked off the road.
Tack will look around like, should I just talk openly amongst everybody?
She kind of takes it and goes, "I trust this council here."
I was in contact with Chris. They told me what to do. Likewise, Pack will gesture to everyone else. These are my companions. I trust them with my life and all information.
Hello, everyone.
You get kind of nods and whatnot, and you. The only person who kind of speaks quite broadly, like almost interrupting the vibe of the room, is the one wearing the mask of greed. They say, "Ah, greetings to you, my friends. I am Yenelo Riskweather. Welcome to our humble council here as we retake the city of Songrest." And you see some others kind of roll their eyes around him. But he kind of walks across, extends his hand out to you, which is a gloved hand. Holds his hand with the palm upward. Desmond, you know the greeting for those in the city of the Seven is to just run your palm across theirs, not to hold their hand. It's kind of almost seen as kind of a gentle gesture, because even the grip strength can give too much away. So he kind of holds his hand with his palm upright.
Okay.
Observes your group.
Beat you.
He pulls away from the shakes. No sinners among you, I see. Very well. He kind of steps back to where he was.
Know I'm a freak.
Yeah, he kind of completely thinks you guys are innocent of sin. Steps over to one side and rejoins the conversation. Sonia kind of nods and goes, "It's good to have you here. We're currently making preparations for an attack. Your parent, Chris, you,
Where are they? I thought they were here.
In sort. They volunteered to be one of our eyes on the inside. They are currently in the castle. Along with my mother and my brother.
Okay. Clearly there's a lot to catch up on if you'll accept our help. We want to help.
You see kind of Zax's smile goes, this lot could use all of the help they can get, so I'm sure they're going to accept. Fresum looks nervously towards you, Morgain. Kind of like bows his head. You can see like almost his like prudish, almost strategic, kind of almost sly face falls into one of like childish fear. Sonia leans across the table and says, "Welcome to where I've spent the last several years of my life, in this dockland. Sorry we couldn't tell you more, but the other part of the plan was Terramol has been housing me down here, keep me safe. I've been working as a dock worker under the guise of it all. You can see her hair's slightly shorter than it was. She's been growing it out in recent times, but definitely shorter. But now is the time for action. We've been waiting too long. We've learned much that I'm sure you're not privy to yet. Let's dismiss this council. Let me speak to our guests. And if they need any of you, they'll come and get you. Get your rest." And he'll kind of stand up, and Fresno goes, "Think about what I said, though. It'd be foolish to try. Maybe not now." And he wanders out of the room. The others kind of pass by you. Zaxis kind of takes a moment and says, "Speak to me when you're done. I'll give you a little bit more." And he wanders past you, leaving you just with Sonia in the room. Yeah.
Yeah, once everybody's gone, Tax kind of like strict body language will drop a little bit, and they'll walk straight to Zonia and just give her a huge hug.
You can see there's a moment of like hesitation where, not because of you, but because she hasn't had an affectionate moment. She's been around kind of strategists or people that she's like formed with, and she settles into it and just kind of throws her arms around you. You can feel the strength of her kind of Goliath forearms kind of pressing on your back. She squeezes you a little too hard and then lets go and goes, "Sorry. good to see a familiar face. And every one of yours is.
Sorry, I didn't know what I would say when I saw you again. Just happy to see you, I guess.
And are you? More than you can know. It looks like you brought help.
Did. I've been traveling with them for a few months. They're all incredible warriors, all of them, and they want to help. We're all familiar with Kios. He's
Good.
here, correct?
Yes. Yes, we're all too familiar with him now.
And, your mother is in there. And your brother? Are they prisoners? What's happening with them?
Safe as prisoners, yes. They're not chained up or locked away. They are left to their own devices, curfewed to the castle, restricted to it alone. They are not allowed to leave. There's a curfew in the city in general. They are safe. Until he decides otherwise. They need to save face here. It's good that you brought warriors. I'm few and far between myself. We have some formidable hands here. But less by the day. House Lepos' their soldiers have mostly taken up the guard, but the current, I would say, muscle of the entire town is a series of mercenaries bought by the coin of whoever this benefactor is, and Kevris of House Lepos, along with this Kios. There's so much to catch you up on. It is advanced significantly in the past few weeks. Things have
Can you tell
become...
why?
Ever since this Kios has arrived.
I see.
We've learned a lot. We have... I have a prisoner of my own. And...
Who?
You might know them. I believe you might be familiar with them from your dealings with House Lepos and Crown Heart. Soman, the second son.
How? How long have you had him?
Weeks. We ambushed him, a caravan of theirs on the road. We knew they were coming, we put out feelers for it, and we kidnapped him, killed his guard. And we've extracted quite a bit of information at his expense.
And they know, I assume, if it's been that long. Have they made any move to get him back?
Not from us. They have tortured rebels in the town. They panic as the day goes on. More and more people are being called out as rebels. Even if those just speak out briefly, they are seen as joining our cause. But they do not know us to be down here yet. We are very cautious with who we invite, who we bring in. They don't think to look under their nose. I have a changeling of my own. Her name is Hazel. You might have seen her in the room. She has been... When this Kios first arrived, they sent a kind of an overlooker, a foreman, to look over the docks, to rule over it. We replaced them with Hazel. Her family was unfortunately lost to the recent culling of rebellions.
Okay.
With that,
Right.
she has been our saving grace. They have not put their attention on the docks yet. They see us as weak down here. The dock workers have fallen in line. We are supplying them with any resources they need. Food, extra food that we are bringing in. We're overfishing the area to make sure that they have enough resources to lock down the city in case of something. We don't know. But they are harboring foods as if they are preparing for something, preparing for war perhaps. Currently we are safe. But that only goes so far. We have rebels who I do trust to hold their tongue, that know our location, trapped inside of the town. That is why we have to push the attack in the next few nights. We're hoping for tomorrow night. We have targets that we've chosen out. I'll talk to you about those soon.
Sure.
First, is there anything you need to know? Anything you want to know? Pressing.
Oh my gosh. I'm out of character. I wish we had OLG and Bree.
Our note takers, huh?
Our note people are gone, yeah.
We will lower DCs and whatnot to account for them. But obviously, yeah, it's the OOC questions you might not have ready.
Yeah. Yeah, Tack would say, I thought maybe Hazel was brought here by Kios. He's been doing some crazy stuff with changelings. That's why I contacted Chris in the first place. Did he show up here with any that... it's hard to tell, but...
There's reports that he had one with him. One who did not take a form. Zaxis has informed us that they believe this to be the benefactor. Everything that led to the fall of Songrest those years ago was through this benefactor. Someone has been planning this for years. The very fall of us, the very taking over of it, needing a location to begin their plans. A location so far north, in a weather so far out of the way, with resources that they require. We don't have a name for the benefactor, though. If Zaxis is to be believed, it is potentially... This is going to sound ridiculous. It is better you hear it from him himself. She calls out for a guard. Fetch Zaxis. He kind of steps back into the room after not waiting too long. Wanders in. She has requested... they have requested to be informed about the benefactor. Zaxis kind of steps around, the bastard of beauty. He kind of leans on the table, he pulls a chair up and he sits against it. Treating like kind of the war table like it's a dining one. He kind of rests his elbows on the table and kind of rests his chin on his hands. I don't know how deep into everything you are right now, but what if I was to tell you that one of the Sunborn, one of their descendants, or perhaps them themselves, has lived for countless years and is now residing in that castle, in a mortal body, a mortal shell. Beauty.
I believe it.
You think beauty is here?
I have a pretty strong belief and reason to do so, considering they're the one that hunted me down and got me caught all those years ago. I'll give you a little bit of a history lesson. I didn't give it to you before, I didn't trust you then. I don't really trust you now, but Lady Zonia is one of our only hopes in mustering up any force against what is to come.
Talk away then.
I was a bastard, born of my family. I age slower. I benefit from the ability to change at will, as any changing does, but my bloodline was that of beauty. But a bastard is owed no lands, earned no title. Often we're forgotten, but not by the house of Okra. See, the thing I learned is from my mother, as she secreted me away. In the House of Beauty, for years, beauty themselves has been replacing their own children. They will appear as a form, find a lover, procreate, have a child, wait for the child to come of age, conveniently die of sickness or otherwise, kill their own child, and then become them. And generation after generation, they've been slowly just ruling over the entirety of All-Weathers and all of its people as a singular being, hiding as generations. Now, a bastard makes that kind of difficult. They didn't want their seed to spread so far. They wanted to keep it potent, concentrated. One line. No cousins. No brothers and sisters, singular children. It was always a peculiar thing in the House of Ukra, but it was seen more of a convenient, almost curse placed upon the family to only have one child at a time. So when a bastard appeared, it made it rather difficult. And I was to be on the chopping block. They tried to kill me. I avoided it. I hid away. And I was sick of the idea of it. I could have hid them believing me to be gone, not existing. But I decided to rebel. And I led a war against the House of Beauty. A war that I was successful in. Beauty fled Marigold. I took over the entirety of the city. I had armies of common folk who rose up because they believed they wanted a new ruler. They saw the bloodline in me. They could see the glow of my son blood. And I spoke well. I led well. I rallied people behind a common cause that went against the nobles of Marigold. People, the common people, knew to stand alongside me. And I would have been able to track them down and finally destroy them if I... With the coin that I had, I could buy mercenaries and armies, and I could supplant every part of All-Weathers. But then, as the history tells it, I set my eyes on Neverset, the main capital of our entire continent, and I was going to take over that. As the rumors had it, I was planning on conquering everything. So all of the other regions rose up against me, and they sieged my city until my people betrayed me. Until starvation took over cause. But that is not the truth. I didn't seek conquering, I sought to stop the cruelty of the House of Ukra, the House of Beauty. But Beauty is a clever manipulator. With enough gold and enough contacts and purpose, every bard was telling a false rumor of my plan to usurp the land. They paid off bard colleges to sing a song of my evil. And when I was rose up, I was captured and dragged to their dreadvault. Until I escaped, I thought my mind would just be whittled into nothing. But I know the beauty is behind this. I know they take two forms. The form of their current ruling persona and their natural form. No other changeling I know is of worth. That position, to pull all of these strings like that. They are planning something. A Sunchild is planning something. And it is us that are in danger.
And you think this is all... Tech will look at Zonia. That everything that's happened here, it's all connected to this?
I don't know what the connection is. And Soman doesn't know either. We've only recently started to interrogate him over that. He's too small for that. The part that we've learned, that I've learned. Years ago, my father was the reason that a certain member of the House of Lepos, Kevris, the brother of the Lord, a cruel man, he was once a knight. My father discovered his cruelty against armies from the land without light. Executions, unchivalrous behavior that was leading to torturous mentality from this Kevris. Cavagan was the one to report it. I want to see him stripped of title. If he hadn't been a hero in those wars against the tribes coming down from the north.
Sam, could you go settle Clark?
Yeah. Oh. You don't back.
No problem. If he hadn't been a hero, he would have been dragged to the Dreadfort and thrown in there. But because he wasn't, he had a chance to harbor hatred towards our house. Hatred that would be seen as nothing more than the uncle in his family, angered. Unfortunately, he had a benefactor. Someone from Marigold with position and coin to help him. We only learn this because his favorite of the children of his brother, Soman, was brought in. Kevris worked Soman as if he was a son to himself. The two of them whispered poison into the ear of Lord Elendis Lepos, convinced him that Songrest wasn't a rightful home. We were commonplace once. We're one of the only houses to ever be given to common people. And through them, through Kevris, through the coin of that, they planned to take Songrest. The whole attack that night was their plan via their benefactor. An unnamed one. And they took it. Our home was taken. And for years, House Lepos has been removing our guards and replacing it with theirs. But it hasn't been the house. Kevris was given command. He was in the ear of his brother to get control of this town. For Lord Elendis, it means more gold. It means more control, more power. For Kevris, it meant preparing for this. Whatever this was. We just thought it was a greedy revenge story, but it has been more than that. It is beyond it. Soman tells it that Kevris has been preparing for Kios to arrive. In recent weeks, Kios came and things have changed inside. They have locked down this city. They have pulled back the crops. They have pulled back the majority of the soldiers they have. Mercenaries now guard the walls, or those most loyal to Kevris. They've called forth criminals from distant lands to come into our land to be seen as generals in this army. There's talks of creatures and monsters within our walls. Rebellions are being quashed, even those speaking out are being rather sent to the mines to try and break into any of the stones there or widen it to search for any song crystal. But those who can sing the crystals out of the walls have been resilient. Most have been killed or have been worked to the bone. Kios has been using crystals that were adorned as decorative and ornamental inside the castle as means for his plans. He has not managed to achieve much yet, but he's close to breaking them. When someone was called, we captured him. At this moment, we know that Kios is trying to create creatures of some kind. We don't understand them. He has tested a couple on our people. The city is ready to revolt. We are planning to take the city itself and leave the castle alone until we have further plan. We need to push towards the gatehouse. We need to strike key points, which we have 4 in mind. But we don't have the force to do so. With you here, that might change. At the moment, inside, as Kios does this and his thugs run the city, my mother is being seen to by Chris. Your parent is keeping them safe as a handmaiden.
Okay.
They are secreting out, giving us any information that we can find. It's the only reason we know that Kios is doing anything with the song crystals. We've also learned that my brother is soon to be married. We're expecting another caravan upon the road in the coming days. Lady Dayla, her husband recently was attacked by 3 ogres on a road. Killed by thugs. She is widowed. So they are bringing her here to marry my brother. To try and unite the houses because I disappeared in Crownheart Hall, believed to be killed.
Shit.
We do not want to wait for that wedding. We want to strike before anyone, any loyal to our house of Tanir breaks and tells of our location. We need to take the city before we can take the castle. We're going to need your help for that. Or at least those of warriors among you. If you are willing.
Of course. I mean, Tech will look at everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I agree.
I feel like we have so much to tell you about the reason why we even know who Kios is, and
Yes.
Yeah, we can see out of his backpack.
Oh, you
that's why
planted some device there.
Yeah, we have Klob. We have a Klob spy. He's been spying on Kios since Marigold.
Interesting.
I could check on him right now.
It is a living spy.
Oh yeah.
They
you can
must be
see
very
through his
small.
eyes.
Very well. What does he see?
Carlisle will do his thing.
Kios's backpack is in his room. You can see a broad double bed posted. Various just kind of like drawings and diagrams of runes around the room. Klab is in the corner on a chair, lying against it, and he's watching the sleeping Kios, who is resting soundlessly in his bed, tossing and turning, sleeping as he must. You see the occasional scratching of the half-stone face of his, and turning and tossing in his bed, but Kios is asleep. Klab is like, sends you some thoughts of like strangling him, and like, but then like nervousness of like, doesn't really want to do that, is too nervous to try it, but like, it thinks about like lifting a pillow on his head, like all different ways to try and kill him in his sleep, but can't really work it out. But he's soundless in his bed.
Well, he's sleeping right now. Klob's thinking about strangling him, but I don't think he has it in.
If he was able to, it'd save us a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
If you're willing, I'll give you our targets. Or well, I should have Fresm do it. It is partially his plan as well. We are arguing over which ones to hit and when to strike. But we deem it would be failure if we tried ourselves. Besides, we need a force to strike inside after a couple of the targets have fallen. Zaxis, you're dismissed if you could get Fresm. He nods his head and stands up and walks out to go and get his friend, and you can see Fresm returns back in, kind of pretending that he's just woken up from sleep. You can see he's too stressed, his eyes are a little bit bagged. You see the hobgoblin with his kind of mutton chop step in. Elderly kind of steps over to the side. You called, my lady? This is Tack, as you know. Alongside them, a group that they say are formidable. I believe they can hit the 2 targets we need. Which would give us enough chance to muster our forces here and attack once everything has begun. You're gonna nod his head. No offense, but what if they fail? How can we trust that they're good enough? Sonia kind of looks at your group, leaving it to you to answer that.
How much do we want to tell them about all the things we've done?
As much as would satisfy them.
Well, we've been fighting and traveling together for a long time. We've helped in a lot of different towns on the way here. There are towns we could tell you to contact, although I feel like that's not a good use of our time. Is there something we could do to prove it to you? One of these targets that has the least amount of risk if it goes wrong.
Well, this is where we disagree. Not with you, but the lady and myself about which targets to hit. So maybe give your insight. I've learned that you can fight. All 6 of you, right? There was a tournament. Xaxis undersaw it. And you came out on top. So I know you're good with a weapon. But I need to know that you're good at improvising. Knowing what to do on the field. These are the 4 targets that we've underlined. The first 2, I believe, should be hit. The second 2, Lady Zonia believes should be hit. He points towards the inside of the walls where the granaries are. Our spies have reported that any captives that are of no use, any ones who are too weak to go in the mines, or those that are too rebellious for their liking, are being taken to this granary house here. One of Chaos's first creatures inside. We don't know what they are. But there's been described as screams as they feed it. They feed it other people. We believe that if we were to attack 2 of these locations we can strike in one night, realistically, before they notice and call their guard. If we strike this one, that creature won't be released that night. It won't be there in the attack on the gatehouse. I think it should be done. The second one that I believe should be done is liberating the mines. Now, the Crystal Singers, he kind of highlights the mine area, have held out vigilantly. But they are put to work each day. Tortured or injured. However, thrown to mine. At the moment, the mines are filled with anyone who's part of our rebellion, anyone that they deem might join it, to carve through and work till bone. If we can free them, we can arm them. That should break up more of the armies on the night we attack. It should spread a bit more chaos. It'll give less guard around the gatehouse and give us more soldiers.
Okay.
Lady Zonia kind of leans in. Yep,
What do you think should happen?
I think those 2. And Lady Zonia
No,
goes...
sorry.
Oh,
Sorry. Talking to Sonia now, yeah.
Okay, yeah. She goes, I think we need to weaken them in other means. They have a rather large armory. And a lot of coin has been spent to bolster the armory. Most of the soldiers here are mercenaries. Those loyal to Kevris. All those loyal to Kevris, sorry. But they keep most of their armaments inside this armory. She points to kind of like a military barracks. This place was briefly seen and attacked by some of our rebels, but they were struck down. They only damaged a portion of it. Now, there are a group of mercenaries called the Golden Anvil. They're smiths that also work as warriors. They're creating weapons and armor and keeping any sign of rebellion out. If they can be killed, that army can be burnt down, and we'll be fighting a lot less people in chainmail, potentially plate, and armored spears and swords on the night we attack. We weaken the enemy. I don't mind fighting more of them if the more don't have the reliance of armaments. The other thing I would like to do, she points at a tavern. Honey and Lemon's Gratitude Tavern is currently the house of all of these criminal guests that Kios has invited. Now, I've heard of those ogres on the road being dangerous enough. If he has half a dozen more inside there, these people have escaped from the Dread Vault, then on the night of the attack, they will come out and they will lead forces as lieutenants and sergeants on the field. If we can kill them on the night, we'll be fighting plain old soldiers and mercenaries. No generals. It'll weaken morale and deal with these criminals at the same time.
So, can we pick one from each of you?
Any of these four. You choose the two.
Because I can say, at least from our experience, we should probably deal with that monster.
I agree.
Because as far as anyone that isn't us going up against things like that, that's going to hurt morale in a fight.
Frezza nods his head. I agree.
I think the granary and what this inn. I suppose it depends on how many people are at the inn, but
Yeah. It's between the inn and the armory for me now. One of those two.
I'll give you some above board. If you kill the beast, it won't appear in the fight for the gatehouse. So you won't have to see that on the field. Same with the honored guests, those off the list. They can appear in the battlefield. If you liberate the mines, there'll be less soldiers on the battlefield because they will be out elsewhere dealing with the prisoners that have kind of struck out. And if you destroy the armory, it will lower like the armor class and combatants wares of all of the soldiers around that you might be come up against. So it's kind of a kill generals or weaken forces.
As far as like above board, like tactical power of our party, I'm not entirely sure armor classes are concerned. Almost all of us attack at advantage on fights, and we all hit quite hard for our classes. Part of me goes and thinks like, well, is it possible to say, have someone swing over to one of these spots and say, is it possible to fuck with the locks of the monster, like the granary, to make it so it appears in a delayed sense and then focus on another two? Is there a way to do like a half measure?
I was going to ask a similar question because clearly they were planning on doing this without us. So surely if we're taking care of a couple of things in totality, the other things could be dealt with in like a minor or a side sense.
They could try it. It would be down to like a fate roll in that regard. It would weaken their main force if they do that. Their kind of decision now is if you handle two of the things, then they're going to have a stronger push against the fight. So it's kind of they're seeing you guys as like a relief. They didn't really want to spread their forces thin, but they could do that. I will put it down to like fate rolls if they attack the other ones. So it could go in your favor. It could also go against it. But if it goes in your favor, they'll have a weaker force regardless. Or if, for example, you are choosing two of them, a couple of you could break off to go and kind of fuck with one of the other ones. You just won't be involved in the other fight, or you'd arrive in the other fight late.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Because I mean, if it's like targeted like generals in a tavern, like stealth characters could attempt to just go kill those targets of interest and then just go. You know,
you can attempt more than just the two here. It'd be a lot more kind of splitting off. Far more dangerous to go alone. If you can split the party to do all four, you can. Two is what they believe. If you do these two, You can get away with a full party going to one and then another, but then that'd be it. But you can split up if you want to try more than just two. It's just going to mean you will be split up and you won't be able to help each other in the other places.
How far away is the tavern from any of the other spots?
Well, she kind of points to it. You've got the mines over on the far, far west. The armory's closer to the gatehouse. Probably a good 10-minute walk, 15-minute walk. It's another probably 20-minute walk down to the tavern here, and then 10 minutes to the granary over that way. Which kind of like points between them.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that if Carile and the two people that can fly most efficiently went to the tavern and went into a window, we could kill like 3 or 4 people and then fly away.
Sure.
To the next closest spot. Or even Carile, because I can just go invisible when I'm done. And I can be invisible the whole time entering too.
Just be invisible, stab a bunch of boys, and then fly away.
Yeah, I would imagine that if I fired one full charge shot of my bow into a crowded room full of important people, a couple of them wouldn't be going to work that day.
Sure.
Is kind of my thoughts. So I feel like that's an option.
Desmond, how hard is it to make a bomb?
Yeah, let's bring some bombs in, and Carlisle
could.
can bring in a payload.
Fly over top,
Okay.
drop the bomb, fly to the granary, right? Leave it to a fate roll. How many people died in that explosion?
I mean, as far as sabotage is concerned, I'm quite capable of dealing with at least a couple of these targets in some way, even if it's not exactly the most efficient or the most absolute, I suppose.
I could make 3 bombs in 3 minutes.
Very
I like that.
dark talent that you've just revealed.
Yeah, I like that. You can just make 3 bombs in 3 minutes. That's a bomb a minute. He's just been able to do
That's
the whole
a good
time.
ratio.
That's a fast output of
That's
bombs.
fast, dude.
I guess regardless of any side ideas, we need to decide what the other main thing that we want to focus on. What's like the absolutes we don't want on the board no matter what happens. Take
Yeah.
away any like RNG. I
And
think
above-
the monster needs to be gone.
I
We
think the
can't have
monster has to be one.
Okay. Above
Yeah.
board
So
as
don't-
well, I can go off and prep. I haven't got all 4 prepped. So it helps me out if I know exactly what you are planning to go after, so I can get everything
Got it.
ready
Okay.
for you in the coolest way.
Okay. I think planned guarantee monster
Mhm.
granary. The mine feels more like it's going to be more impactful than AC for the enemy. Because I just feel like we're not going to struggle with that as much.
Mm.
It feels like having more people on the board to like just get in the fucking way of things is going to be more helpful for our group that doesn't really care about that as much.
What I'll
as a
say
party.
it will convert to, just because it will help with the combat. The gatehouse will have a lot of enemies there. This will lessen the amount of enemies because the idea is in character they're going to be elsewhere fighting the prisoner. So it won't be necessarily
so
shields on the board, but it'll be less soldiers for you to fight.
I think
Okay.
either
Yeah.
or for that is good. So just we could do 1 and
Yeah.
1 so that no one feels like their idea wasn't that important. Just be like, yeah, we'll do the granary and we'll do the fucking armory.
No, I think Tack will look at Zonia. Can I be honest with you?
That's what I need.
I think we should do Fresens. Because number one, both situations are helping normal people that are getting caught up and killed.
Hmm.
Number two, because both will cause situations that are going to split up their forces. They're going to need to investigate and figure out what's going on. And I think in the end, it's going to do what you were wanting anyway.
Very well. And we go with Fresms. and we see the rest on the battlefield. Okay. Good. Do you need a night of rest?
I mean, I don't personally.
Are you asking because you think this should be done now?
We can put this together tonight or tomorrow.
There'll be no chaos sleeping right now.
Oh.
It would take us about an hour to muster everyone.
The only thing I can think of is that technically V used rage to is that a long rest or is that a short rest thing for them?
That's long.
Long, but she has 3 more. And they last 10 minutes now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should have one probably for all 3 encounters.
Okay.
Let's just take the long rest, right? Or should we
Fine
do
with
it
that.
now? I think
What's the
Giving
downside to long resting?
A long rest would also let me make another cloak of protection.
Yeah, and
Right.
another like 80
We're doing
to
another
like
rest.
200 bombs.
Yeah.
Like, for just being
I can only make 4 a day, 4 traps a day. One of them's my turret.
dude, you got a lot of time right now to prep some fucking real messed up shit. All right, like I want to see the artificer go.
She goes, if we wait a day?
I have to go. Sorry. Love
That's
you
okay.
guys, bye.
No, of course. She goes, all right. And that's what we'll do. Rest down here,
Right
find
up.
quarters down here with us.
I might take a swing over to the tavern and at least see if there's any way that I might be able to sneak in tomorrow. When everything's happening, we might be able to do something on that side.
Very well. And tomorrow night, we retake the city. Rest up and thank you for joining us. Speak to any of us that you need to. Stay down here, though. We don't want to get caught. And she goes back. Fezim, if I can speak to you privately for a little while first, then everyone should get some sleep. Kind of like nods her head towards you. You're allowing you to slip out to find quarters to kind of rest in these kind of underground smuggler tunnels before tomorrow. Well, Carile, you can slip out the night. We'll do that at the beginning of next episode.
Yeah.
And we'll finish up here so that next episode is the disruption of Songrest and seeing how you guys do against some of the things there. We will, I'll have it all yeah, so basically I'll give you all the decisions so we didn't have to do a million miles of prep that never gets used. So I will have then the mines, the granary, and the tavern layout ready for you because you're looking to strike 3. All right. Well, thank you everyone for playing. I know we were a couple down, so they've just missed some stuff, but that's okay. We can catch them up for next episode next Sunday. We can do some little shout outs now. Dodger had to rush off quickly, so we'll just do a little shout out for her. Twitch.tv/Dexbonus. Go and watch her play all a variety of games every day on her cat channel. Sam Strippin.
What's up? Sorry about the stepping away. Kiddo's got a fever, so
No, that
he
makes
keeps
sense.
waking up. But yeah.
No, thanks for keeping it fun, guys.
Strippin.
Hope she gets better soon. Yeah, check out Sam,
So do
everyone.
I, man.
Yeah, it sucks, Sam. Tomato.
Man, I don't have to do this.
What's
do
this?
Never this.
Just everything?
I don't have to. No, I don't have to do it. If I
Okay.
don't want to, I don't have to.
You don't have to. I'm not forcing you. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. Okay, so Twitch.tv/Tomato. Bree had a I was about to say had a Morgain. Had a migraine. So,
What the hell?
Bree had a migraine. A Morgain's where you have a migraine so bad you don't open your eyes. Bree had a migraine tonight, so couldn't make it, unfortunately, for the episode. So hopefully she feels better and gets back to us next week. Shayne, where can people find you?
Hi, I am at ShayneHawke at Twitch TV at. Go to my channel. I've been doing a lot of variety stuff recently, and it's been fun. Just playing weird demos, doing whatever I want.
Sick, man.
I think I like it more than just sticking to something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
variety's
variety's fun until you run out of things.
God, I hope that doesn't happen.
And then it's less fun.
It comes. OldLadyGamer on Twitch, if you want to check her out. She usually does Saturday streams, a little catch-up stream. She couldn't make it tonight, so check her out in the week if she does stream next Saturday. Otherwise, there is a Patreon if you want to see behind-the-scenes stuff. I'll post up some of the cool things you might have missed today, along with... you guys worked out who the 3 ogres were. You'll see their stat box coming up soon as well on the Patreon. Otherwise, twitch.tv/JoeFudge here to watch other things this week. We'll be back next week for episode 72 as the crew is closing in on an enemy all the way back on episode, I think, 2 or 3 when you met Kios. You're finally going to be confronting him in the coming few weeks. So we'll see how that all goes there. Otherwise, thanks everyone for watching. Thank you guys for playing. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.